It's Thursday, May 28th. Today, a look at the city's crime trends. Winnipeg's violent crime numbers dropped in 2025, why police say violent incidents are dropping, and why the latest crime report isn't all good news. Also today, state of emergency, why a northern Manitoba town is facing a decline, and what options are being given to residents. Plus, lost and found, the bittersweet reunion for a local school and a recently stolen play structure. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning. It is Thursday. Thank you so much for tuning in to Your Morning Winnipeg. Now, we have a lot in the next 3 hours for you, including Ainsley, who's going to be at the Movement Center of Manitoba. It's where people who've had either a brain injury or cerebral palsy or some kind of mobility issues go there. They learn how to navigate the system and learn how to use their bodies in a better way. It's so cool to watch it happen live as well. She will be there throughout the morning. They're having a fundraiser coming up, so you can support them as well. But again, it was a perfect evening last night, a little breezy to cool things off. Not too hot, I found. I kind of enjoyed it.
Wait for it. Wait for it. Everyone, hang on, because yeah, it's been hot, but like, remember how I was saying yesterday, I didn't want to use the word hot to describe yesterday, because then what does that leave me with today? Whew. It is going to be a scorcher. So now heat warnings have been issued across the province, well, much of the province, and it's all due to where these temperatures are going to be headed today. Starting out is not too bad, 15 degrees. That's very similar to yesterday. And the breeze is on the lighter side, or moderate at least. Out of the southeast, it's 18 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 55%. But yes, much of southern Manitoba, west central Manitoba, parts of northern Manitoba are all under extreme heat warnings, and that's because the temperatures today are going to be so much hotter than where they've been over the past couple of days. Last couple of days, we've been topping out in those high 20s. Well, today we're headed up into the mid 30s, and so as a result, you need to take all of those necessary precautions. Now, right along that most northern border, that's the only sign of precipitation that we're seeing at this point. Other than that, it's looking very clear, sunny, and yes, incredibly hot. Just a little bit of a breeze today. You'll see a few clouds here or there. The possibility of maybe a little bit of obviously very scattered precipitation. Not an organized system in any way whatsoever, but we could start to see just some little pockets of precipitation over the next few days. Now, here in Winnipeg, our best chance won't be until next week. But here's what I'm talking about. With these temperatures on the rise, we're now looking to be up into the mid-30s. Whee! Director Kim, I know this is a bit of a shock. And so, how I said, necessary precautions, be on the lookout for others, and just know that things will start to stabilize a little bit. By that, I'm still talking above seasonal. And I mean, I suppose nothing stable about thunderstorms. That's what we can expect into the start of next week.
Thank you, Terry. Winnipeg's violent crime numbers dropped in 2025. Winnipeg police released their annual crime report Wednesday, which showed the severity of crimes is down nearly 9%. Specifically, homicides, assaults, firearm offenses, and robberies are all trending down. But as CTV's Jeff Keel explains, the police chief cautions this is no victory lap.
There were fewer violent crimes reported in Winnipeg last year.
This marks the second consecutive year of reductions in violent crime.
The Winnipeg Police Service released crime stats for 2025. While overall crime volumes were up 1.1%, violent crimes were down 4.8%, including homicides, assaults, firearm offenses, and robberies. Youth crime dropped 11.7%, and the total severity of crimes was down 8.8%, with the severity of violent crime decreasing 11.2%.
Total crime severity decreased significantly in 2025, driven by one of the largest decreases in violent crime severity in recent history.
For property crimes, theft from vehicles was up 13.2%, but vehicle thefts were down 11.5%. Break and enters dropped 20.4%, and shoplifting was down 4.6%. This after a plan was launched where police patrolled stores and hotspots.
We've put a lot of attention to retail theft. We continue to put attention to that.
Police credit the drop in several crime categories to frontline officers, the public, and new initiatives like the unit that targets violent criminals. Plus, 35 new officers hit the streets in 2025.
Much improvement with police presence downtown. I would describe this report as progress, but there is still a lot of work left to do.
Case in point drug crimes were up 9.1%, mischief 8.6%, and crime volumes downtown shot up 17.2%.
I work downtown, so it's a little worrying walking to and from every day.
I see undesirable people on street corners, and I'll just go the other way.
And the police were busier in 2025, dispatched to more than 254,000 incidents, a 6% bump.
This number underscores the continued pressures facing our frontline officers, public safety, communicators, and partner agencies.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Police made 18,777 arrests in 2025, a 12.9% jump from 2024. In addition, 112 hate-motivated crimes were reported to Winnipeg police in 2025, a 154% spike. Police have theories as to why global tensions are likely contributing to a rise nationally. Hate crimes have gone up over the last few years, and a new initiative in 2025 gave people the ability to report hate graffiti online. Members of the Manitoba legislature are going overtime as they hash out a bill on affordability.
I'm trying to take the tax off of your groceries, and I got to say there's nothing less helpful to your cost of living than procedural stunts in the legislature.
Legislatures sat overnight and into Wednesday morning in an ongoing battle over a government budget bill that includes a tax cut on some food items. Calvin Gertson spoke for roughly 4 hours via Zoom without stopping. The bill contains several measures, including elimination of the provincial sales tax on items such as prepared meals, snacks, and soft drinks at grocery and convenience stores. The opposition Progressive Conservatives say the tax cut doesn't amount to much and have called for an income tax cut to be added to the bill.
We have said as opposition that we want to work with the NDP government, that we want to work with the Premier, that we will compromise, we will work together to put in real affordability measures. So we've already presented that. We've said it for the last 30 hours. We've said that in the chamber, and so the ball's in the Premier's court.
The government has said the food tax cut cannot take effect on July 1st as planned unless the Tories let the bill pass before the legislature's summer break scheduled to start on Monday. Canada is entering talks with Sweden for a new defense surveillance system.
The Global Eye Partnership will establish Canadian-based production capability, including aircraft conversion and missionization.
The Global Eye surveillance system is made by Saab. This system is mounted on top of a Bombardier jet. Ottawa says this deal could lead to more than 3,000 jobs and create tens of billions of dollars in economic spin-offs. Bombardier could manufacture as many as 40 aircraft at its plants in Montreal and Toronto. Ottawa chose this Swedish system over a U.S. competitor. This deal still needs to be negotiated, and that's expected to take a few months. 5 of 7 villagers trapped in a cave in Laos for more than a week have been found alive. Take a look at this. Cheering erupted outside the cave when the 5 were discovered. Rescuers are now continuing their search for the other 2 villagers. The group went into the cave last week to look for gold. They were trapped after heavy rain and a landslide. The city of Winnipeg is opening the taps on its hydration stations this week. 9 locations are popping up to ensure folks have access to clean drinking water this summer. That includes at downtown's Central Park, the Bell Tower on Selkirk Avenue, and the southeast corner of Roslyn Road and Osborne Street. While crews get things flowing, water tank trailers are set up at Silo Mission, Agape Table, and the Salvation Army Center of Hope. A full list of station locations and places to cool off can be found on the city's website. Going to the hospital can sometimes be a stressful experience, especially for children, but an overhaul at a key waiting area at HSC Children's Hospital is likely to make the trip a little less intimidating. This is your first look inside the appropriately named Smile Zone. It features vibrant colors, calming displays, and some interactive features. The goal is to offer some comfort and much needed distraction to families during what can be often a difficult time.
An area, I believe, for scans, CT scans and x-rays and so on. So I believe everyone will, you know, if it helps with their emotions and helps make them comfortable, all the better. And for the staff as well, too.
The project was made possible through support by the Brian Connor and Dee Family Foundation. It's beautiful. Here's a look at what's happening right now on Norwood Bridge. Looks like things are pretty light at this point in the drive. Look at the foliage, though. It's a beautiful start to your day. If you see any problems out on the street, send us a text, please. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at the Movement Center. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. The annual Pierogi Run is coming up on June 14th. You can register right up to the date and enjoy a pierogi pizza or a plate of pierogies. It's their largest annual fundraiser, and it helps so many kids, families, and adults with neuromotor disabilities. That's everything from cerebral palsy to spina bifida, folks who are dealing with brain injuries, and so much more. They do something called conductive education, which originated in Hungary, and it brings a different approach to rehab. We're going to have a couple of demonstrations this morning, including one with a child named Jaden. I don't know if you guys remember last year, but Jaden joined us, and he was such a personality. Actually took the mic from my hand.
Oh, my. Well, such a little ham. I can't wait to see him again. Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. The sun is shining, but it's going to be a scorcher today.
And look, Rochelle, it's my favorite time of year. Oh, did I get excited when I stepped outside and saw this. I've got new flowers. And then I was just trying to position them so that the most colorful part, because there's some, I mean, listen, they're beautiful. They're beautiful. I'm so excited about this. Okay, I'm so excited about the weather too, although it might be a little too much. I'll be watering these plenty over the next few days because Mother Nature is not going to be doing that. She will be providing the sun and the heat. Maybe a little too much heat for most of us. Probably it's way too much heat. 15 degrees is where we're sitting right now with southeast winds 18 clicks. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 60%. And yes, the sun is a bright blue sky, looking gorgeous out here. These morning hours are easily going to be the best part of the day, and I say that not at all cheekily because where we're headed later on this afternoon, it'll be siesta time once we're reaching those extremes. A time to find yourself maybe back inside in some air conditioning or a slightly cooler space, at least in some shade, because where these temperatures are headed today will be pretty shocking and honestly not actually safe. So that's why those extreme heat warnings have been issued. You just need to take all of the necessary precautions. Stay hydrated, be on the lookout for others. 35 degrees is what we're expecting this afternoon. We're taking a break right now. We'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
Good morning. A northern Manitoba town already struggling for years is now facing another breaking point. Residents in Leaf Rapids say empty grocery shelves, wildfire destruction, and deteriorating services are making daily life unbearable, and some are now being offered the option to relocate. CTV's Alex Carpa traveled to the small town and has that story.
Sylvia Smith reads a letter she received from the province giving her the option to leave her home in Leaf Rapids.
If you would like to talk about moving, please contact your case counselor. Oh, I don't want to move.
The province says this is not a forced relocation of Leaf Rapids residents, but rather an opportunity to move somewhere with better access to essential services. However, Smith argues that those essential services should be restored to the town instead.
You want help, there's no help. You basically help yourself or drown. Sink or swim.
It's a harsh reality the over 200 people who call Leaf Rapids home face.
This is our meat section here, and as you can see, there's basically nothing here.
At the community's only grocery store, empty shelves have become all too normal, making it increasingly difficult for residents to buy basic food.
This is where our apples, oranges, everything would be normally.
Anderson says food shortages have been an ongoing issue for months, and it's heartbreaking to watch her hometown deteriorate.
It was a booming town. Like, there was so much going on here. Like, and you look at it now, it's like a fragment of what it was.
Leaf Rapids thrived in the 1970s as a hub for the nearby mine, but when it shut down in 2002, the town's decline began. Businesses closed and many services were reduced. The town's council also dissolved in 2019, leaving the province in charge. Then came last summer's wildfires, adding yet another challenge.
Majority of the residents have left Leaf Rapids over the last number of years, including after last year's devastating wildfire season, which, as you can see behind me, impacted many homes in the community.
A lot of these damages were done to these homes.
Raymond Moynier is still working to repair his home, but says access to resources is limited.
We're willing to stick it out. We're willing to fight for this town, this place, our north.
It's a sentiment shared by many who remain in Leaf Rapids, residents fighting not for an ending, but for a future. Alex Carpa, CTV News, Leaf Rapids, Manitoba.
We're learning the City of Winnipeg has collected only a fraction of the $3.5 million in fines issued to owners of vacant properties that have caught fire over the past 3.5 years.
We want to keep these property owners held accountable. Otherwise, we're going to continue to see fires, derelict, and vacant homes in our community.
According to data from the Winnipeg Fire Paramedic Service, the city has only recouped about $232,000 in partial or full payments from 14 of the 150 outstanding invoices, leaving more than $3.8 million unpaid. Unpaid accounts are referred to the city's collection services, but the data suggests the existing repayment system isn't working. Mayor Scott Gillingham says council wants the provincial government to amend legislation to allow the city to recover the outstanding fees through property taxes.
Of course, we have to be prudent as well as a city. We've got to weigh out the cost of going to court, versus the cost of what we may recover through the fines that we've levied on properties. It would make it a lot easier if the legislation could be changed as we requested, because then we can take any of those unpaid fines and we could put that onto people's property tax bills like we do with water and waste fines.
According to the city, the Public Service submitted a formal request to the province in the fall of 2024 to amend the legislation, but hasn't received a response. In a statement to CTV News, a provincial spokesperson says the issue is still under discussion. Under current bylaws, the city can fine owners more than $10,000 the first time a vacant building goes up in flames, scaling to more than $51,000 for a fourth incident. Potholes, litter, and sidewalk cracks are the usual signs Winnipeg is waking up after a long winter. That's why the city's neighborhood action team is springing back in action. City crews dressed in green uniforms like the ones on your screen will be spending 4 weeks in each ward. 5 teams made up of 7 workers will fix broken street signs, clear branches, or address any other neighborhood concerns you might contact 311 about. And if you haven't called or filled out an online report, you can hand crews that to-do list in person.
When you see them, feel free to say hi, thank them for the work they do, or for sure, add to their list of things to do in the neighborhood.
More details on what the team can do, how to submit requests, and when crews will be in your area can be found on our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. The run-up to the 2026 FIFA World Cup has been especially long for these 3 Argentina fans. They've spent the last 9 months cycling to Kansas City to watch their team kick off the biggest sporting event in the world. It's taken them through 17 countries and more than 16,000 kilometers to do it. But it's just the kind of thing you do if you have the time, resources, and love for your country. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning on St. Mary Avenue. The westbound median lane will be closed from Main to Fort Street. The westbound curb lane on Crane Avenue will be closed from Buxton Road to Oriole Street. And only one northbound lane is open on Edmonton Street between Broadway and Portage. If you see any problems out on the streets, please send us a text to let us know.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
A look now through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. A cloudless start to your day. It is beautiful, it is sunny, it is warm, it's about to get hot, it's about to get more than hot, in fact. Where we begin is very similar to where we were yesterday, and yesterday wasn't extreme. We didn't make the kind of gains that we're likely to make today, although yesterday was still hot and well above seasonal as we pushed up into the high 20s. Today we begin in the mid-teens. Like I said, very similar to yesterday, 15 degrees right now in Winnipeg, and everybody is at least in the double digits. One of the cooler spots through the south is Dauphin at 10 degrees right now. Now 8 would be a normal low temperature. Everybody is well above that. We've even got these mid-teens pushing up into parts of the northwest and double digits right up to that northwestern border. Even Churchill beginning the day at 5 degrees. You compare that to yesterday when you were actually below the freezing mark. So a few above that. It won't be as extreme in the northeast today as far as the temperatures go, but northwestern Manitoba and down in throughout the south. Is that me making that noise? Yeah, it is. Sorry, that's my necklace on the microphone. Sorry, team at home. Well, sorry, team here. Let's move that. Okay, as far as the conditions go, extremely hot, pardon me, and plenty of sunshine. 21 degrees this morning, 28 through the lunch hour, 33 when kids are coming home from school, still rising another couple into the evening time, so 35 expected both today and tomorrow. Low 30s through the weekend, but still well above seasonal, and in fact, still above seasonal, even though those temperatures will eventually, on the other side of the weekend, start to dip back into those mid-20s. This is a sport. This is one of the coolest things. It's like dog diving happening out in St. Andrews. This is Gator with perfect form. 12 out of 10, I give you, Gator. Thanks to Pat for sharing the photo. Keep them coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at CTV.ca. We're taking a break. We'll see you soon.
For all those of you who play team sports, check out this contest. We're giving away 25 $100 Chicken Chef gift cards with draws every week from May 25th to July 17th. Tell us your most memorable fun team moment, attach a picture, and you will be entered into the draw. Michelle shared this photo of Garden City Royals 13 UA going to the provincials. Do as her and share your moment with us. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form with your answer and your picture. Good luck.
Your Manitoba sports team moment brought to you by Chicken Chef, where memories are made.
Canada's Olympic and Paralympic athletes were in Ottawa Wednesday, meeting with the Prime Minister and Governor General to celebrate their wins at the Winter Olympics and to inspire the next generation of athletes. Here's CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver.
The Games may be long over, but the Olympic and Paralympic celebrations continue. The audience, dozens of Ottawa school kids.
It's really fun. I've been very excited this whole time. I got to wear a gold medal. It's been really, really fun. Hold on tight.
A fun and motivating moment with freestyle skier Megan Oldham and her gold medal. That 10-year-old Ignacio Corpena will never forget.
Any sport, I'm now excited to do any sport whatsoever. I don't think it really matters as long as I have fun.
The meet and greet outside Rideau Hall.
Can I use the pen for a second?
Special for the students and for athletes like Paralympic gold and bronze medalist Tyler Turner.
Maybe we don't all get to stand at the top of a podium at the Olympics or Paralympics. However, that pursuit of a goal like that, it comes with community, it comes with pride, it comes with, growth, and that's what I think we can all get from sport.
From Rideau Hall to Parliament, the country's best athletes receiving a thank you on behalf of all Canadians.
Your success, your drive, your example, your sports, your sense of sporting values, that united this country.
A country athletes like figure skaters Paul Poirier and Piper Gillies are proud to represent.
Sport brings people together, and to be here and be celebrated feels great. But again, we're inspiring the next people to be like, hey, maybe that can be us one day. So I think these are really important moments, and we're just really embracing it all.
Canada brought home 36 medals in Milan, and Ottawa is hoping to grow that success with a $775 million investment in high-performance sport unveiled in the Spring Economic Update. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
Wake up and win with CTV Your Morning and Manitoba Blue Cross. We can pay your bills with a massive $20,000. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is Thrive. Head to the contest page at ctvwinnipeg.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter Thrive with your info for your chance to win the Your Morning $20,000 Pay Your Bills contest. Brought to you by Manitoba Blue Cross, your local trusted health benefits provider. Good luck.
Bright and sunny, 15 degrees already. A bit of a breeze out of the southeast, just 18 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 60%. All right, first half of this week It's already been hot, but it is about to get intense, with the temperatures climbing even higher than where they've been, and as a result, heat warnings have been issued through much of the province today. You can see just how clear it is, really nothing going on, a few clouds across parts of northern Manitoba, and not even much in the way of clouds. I know we're seeing some green that maybe gives you a little bit of hope. That is not, it's just a little bit of what we call ground effects, where it makes an appearance on our satellite image, but nothing is actually appearing out there as far as precipitation goes, and we likely won't see anything like that maybe into the start of next week. We'll get there, but first back to today and a hot high of 35 degrees. So we've got these daytime highs in the mid-30s, overnight lows in the low 20s. 21 degrees is all that it will cool to in the overnight hours, and these are a lot of the reasons that the heat warnings get issued have to do with those overnight temperatures. There's really no opportunity to cool down even overnight, and then we're soaring again throughout the day tomorrow, back up into those mid-30s. South winds will be at about 30 kilometers per hour both today and tomorrow. Mid-30s or low 30s at least are expected throughout the weekend, and even lingering into the start of next week. We will see them ease only slightly. 22 degrees, that's normal for this time of year, so easing still keeps us well above seasonal.
Thank you, Terry. Fire and demolition crews were on scene following a significant blaze in the Mission industrial area early Wednesday. The city says just after 6 a.m. yesterday, firefighters returning from a different early morning call spotted smoke. When they followed it to the 500 block of Messier Street, crews found shipping containers and industrial equipment ablaze. Parts of Archibald Street were shut down as a precaution, and traffic was halted on on rail lines running close to the fire area. The fire was brought under control half an hour later. The cause of the fire is under investigation. Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc will be in Washington next week to talk trade. Minister LeBlanc has told CTV News he had a one-hour video meeting on Monday with United States Trade Representative Jameson Greer. This trip comes ahead of the July 1st deadline to review CUSMA, the Canada-U.S.-Mexico free trade deal. And Prime Minister Carney is in New York today. He will be meeting with business leaders to pitch Canada as an investment destination. China's foreign minister will start his visit to Canada today. It's Minister Wang Yi's first visit to our country in 10 years. He is expected to meet with Prime Minister Mark Carney and Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand during his 3-day visit. Talks are expected to touch on issues such as trade, investment, and security. The federal government has officially signed a landmark deal to sell liquid natural gas to Germany.
In a moment that feels uncertain and volatile, the world trusts Canada.
The deal will see an expected 1 million metric tons of LNG shipped from northwestern BC to Europe each year, starting in the early 2030s. The gas will be shipped from a still-to-be-built facility in BC. It'll move south in the Pacific Ocean through the Panama Canal and then across the Atlantic to Germany. Atlantic Canada doesn't have the capacity to export LNG at this level at this point, but New Brunswick and Nova Scotia are both hoping and working toward playing a key role in the future. We have an update for you on a story we brought you last week, and it's good news. That play structure that was stolen from a Headingley preschool has been located. CTV's John Hendricks has more.
At the Guiding Minds Montessori School in Headingley, outside playtime isn't just something the kids enjoy, they absolutely love it.
It is their time to let go and run and scream and do what they want to do.
And one of the things they often wanted to do was play on their outdoor wooden play structure. But they haven't been able to recently because late last Thursday or early Friday morning, someone drove a vehicle through the school's fence and stole it.
There was tire tracks all the way up to the sand here, and just kind of like cut it or pulled it out and put it on the trailer, and away they went.
And never to be seen again, or so you might think. But Winnipeg police identified a suspect, and then on Tuesday, the Major Crimes Unit executed a search warrant at a Winnipeg home, where they found the stolen play structure, along with an RV which had previously been reported stolen.
It was surreal to see this tow truck drive up with my play structure.
Sadly, it was no longer in one piece.
Right here where I'm standing is where the slide was. There was monkey bars, so the children would be able to go on the monkey bars.
Except now they're on the ground, damaged.
It's cracked. Here is cracked. The base is cracked.
And therefore no longer safe to use. But this main section is fine. And with the help of one of the school's parents, it will be turned into a treehouse of sorts. And thanks to some generous donations from the community, the school says it will be able to get a new play structure.
I can organize and get these structures, get our park back for the kids.
And allow them to get back to their fun, which was briefly interrupted. John Hendricks, CTV News, Winnipeg.
A 35-year-old man has been charged with 2 counts of break and enter and theft. He was detained in custody. None of the charges has been tested in court. Things went south relatively quickly for the Montreal Canadiens in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Final Wednesday night.
Now Hudson moving in, shot blocked, and Blake picks it up. Gostisbehere getting in front of that attempt. Here's Blake with Stankoven. Score! 3-0 Carolina.
The Hurricanes scored 3 goals in a span of just 2 minutes and 47 seconds late in the first period last night. The game ended 4-0, with the Hurricanes adding an empty netter in the third period. The Hurricanes held the Habs to just 18 shots. Frustrated fans in Montreal were chanting, "Shoot the puck," at one point. Carolina now leads the series 3-1. A must-win Game 5 for the Canadiens goes tomorrow night in Carolina. Some of the top young violinists in the world are in Montreal this week. They're in the city to compete in one of the most prestigious music competitions in the world. The 24 violinists were chosen from a field of 250 applicants. They'll each play a 30-minute recital. After that, the field will be narrowed down to 10 before a winner is chosen. The violinists will have a chance to play with the Montreal Symphony. Very sweet. All right, here's a look at what's happening outside now on McPhillip Street. So far, it's pretty smooth this morning. If you encounter any issues out on the streets, please let us know. Here's a look at your gas prices. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.68. It's lower than it was yesterday. And the lowest price in the city is $1.50, found at 204 Fuels on Salter Street and Co-op on Gateway Road. All this information is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Coming up, Ainsley is live at the Movement Center of Manitoba. They do important work, and we're going to tell you about the pierogi run that's coming up. Stay with us.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
It is so beautiful out here now. With that in mind, it's going to get extremely hot. So if you want to get outside at some point today, do it early before it gets into the extremes, because the extremes is where we're headed this afternoon, but not just today, for the next stretch of days. So these morning hours are certainly going to be the most pleasant. It's 15 degrees right now with plenty of sunshine and just a little bit of a breeze out of the southeast 18 clicks. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 60%. Now, there's no sign of precipitation. I've got my beautiful new flowers here. They're going to need some watering at some point, and it'll be up to me to do that, or our crew, but probably me anyway. I like taking care of them. But if you put some flowers in, as I know a lot of people did over this past weekend, because finally it got nice enough to do that, and then all of a sudden it got too nice. Yes, these extremes are going to be sticking around for a stretch of days right into the weekend. It is very necessary that you stay hydrated, find places to keep cool. Heat stroke is a very real thing, so we do need to be safe about our time that we're spending outdoors. Let's check in now with Ainsley McPhail, see where she's at and what's going on. Hey, Ainsley.
Hi, good morning, and that certainly applies to the pierogi run coming up in June. Carly Burgess and Courtney Thiessen join me now to tell us all about how it's supporting the Movement Center. Very exciting. It's happening at Kildonan Park. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, so we have one of our biggest fundraisers coming up June 14th. It's called the Pierogi Run. Now, it's a walk, wheel, run event, so all accessibilities, and it's a 2-kilometer loop, and we have Boston Pizza, our title sponsor, that's been with us ever since the start, and Savalas Pierogies, and then there's lots of fun things for the kids, the family, and yeah, our goal is to raise $150,000 for the Movement Center. We're currently at 118, so yeah, donate to our website, and I'd love to see you Sunday, June 14th.
Oh, that's amazing. And that volume, that amount of revenue, what does it allow the center to do?
So the center, because we're kind of a lifelong support for families and our clients, like we don't graduate anybody out. And it really, the fundraising
subsidizes costs so that we can be that lifelong support for our clients and their families. And we've had clients coming for over 20 years at this point. Like, we really are such a big community.
And there's no typical client, right? Like, every client is different. So who are you helping?
We help people with neuromotor disabilities, so that includes cerebral palsy, acquired brain injuries, stroke, MS, global developmental delays, kind of all walks of neuromotor disabilities.
And adults and kids, this is something that you're going to be seeing at the fundraiser. Tell us about the family-friendly component.
Yeah, so we roughly have about 450 people, and then we have, it's all a whole bunch of family and friends and some of our clients. So yeah, there's lots of things going on. We have a dunk tank, we have a bouncy castle, we have face painting. A lot of our supporters come and set up like an activation booth, so lots of games, some giveaways, Krispy Kreme donuts, like there's so many things. Yeah, so it's just a fun day to get out, a community event, and spend time with our people.
And you can register up to the day. We've got more details after the break.
Here's a look at the early markets. The Dow Jones dropped 98 points. The Nasdaq is 147 points lower. The S&P index had small losses. The Canadian dollar decreased to 72.13 cents U.S. Overseas, the Hang Seng lost 322 points, and the Nikkei is 306 points down. Good morning. It's 6:46. The province has issued a wildfire alert for a region in the northern Interlake. The Emergency Management Organization says a wildfire was reported Tuesday near Easterville and Chemawawin First Nation. Online wildfire monitoring services show it is roughly 1.5 kilometers southwest of Easterville. However, the EMO says there is currently no threat to lives or homes. It's listed as approximately 412 hectares in size. According to the province's latest wildfire report, there were 7 fires burning across the province as of Tuesday. Only one was deemed out of control, and that's the fire by Easterville. A Manitoba Bear Rescue is taking a rural municipality to court over its approval of a nearby quarry. Manitoba Bear Rehabilitation Centre and its owners, Judith and Roger Stearns, filed an application with the Court of King's Bench on May 22nd. They allege the quarry's operation threatens their rescue's ability to function, citing blasting, vibration, noise, dust, and other factors. They further allege the municipality of Rockwood approved extraction applications without fully disclosing what drove the decision, which it says denied the rescue a fair chance to respond. The RM of Rockwood, along with the companies behind the quarry and others, are named as defendants. The RM has declined to comment, citing the ongoing lawsuit. The companies involved have not yet responded to our requests for comment. No statements of defense have been filed, and the claims have not yet been tested in court. It just became easier for residents of Brandon to check out what projects are underway across the city. The city has just unveiled its online capital project dashboard. It features a list of civic projects that are currently underway and offers some details on their timelines and construction phases. There's also a map residents can use to see where projects are happening. It currently lists 38 projects ranging from water main replacements to new roundabouts to sidewalk replacements. The City of Winnipeg is opening the taps on its hydration stations this week. 9 locations are popping up to ensure folks have access to clean drinking water this summer. That includes at downtown Central Park, the Bell Tower on Selkirk Avenue, and the southeast corner of Roslyn Road and Osborne Street. While crews get things flowing, water tank trailers are set up at Silo Mission, Agape Table, and the Salvation Army Center of Hope. A full list of station locations and places to cool off can be found on the city's website. The head of Harvest Manitoba is in Toronto, joining hundreds of volunteers packing food kits to ensure kids won't go hungry over the summer.
The last bell of the summer rings for students. They lose access to many of those school nutrition programs. So these kits have a huge impact for thousands of kids in Manitoba, a couple 100,000 kids across the country. It's a huge impact, and it brings hope for a lot of kids that really don't have that access to nutrition.
The kits will be distributed across Canada, aiming to support families that typically rely on school breakfast or lunch programs. Vince Barletta says the need in Manitoba only continues to grow.
Manitoba's never been bigger. I mean, we see over 60,000 Manitobans a month going to a food bank somewhere across our province. With Food Banks Canada, over 2.2 million visits all across our country. That's more than double what we had just 5 years ago, and the need just continues to grow.
According to Food Banks Canada, there was a 17% jump in food bank visits here in Manitoba between 2024 and 2025. The Attorneys General of New York and New Jersey say they've issued a subpoena to FIFA over its ticketing practices. This comes after reports fans were misled about the location of the seats they bought for World Cup games. The investigation looks specifically at ticketing for MetLife Stadium. That's where 8 matches and the final will be played. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. On St. Mary Avenue, the westbound median lane will be closed from Main to Fort Street. The westbound curb lane on Crane Avenue will be closed from Buxton Road to Oriole Street. And only one northbound lane is open on Edmonton Street between Broadway and Portage. If you have any other tips, let us know, please.
15 degrees outside this morning with plenty of sunshine to enjoy. The southeast wind is only 18 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity sitting at 60%. So blue sky, light winds, pleasant temperatures this morning. These are the best hours to get outside and enjoy, because where we're headed later on today will send you right back inside, seeking refuge in air-conditioned spaces or shade or wherever you can to try to stay cool into the afternoon. Taking a look around the province, and you'll see that everybody is going to notice a great big warm-up today. Not everybody is reaching extreme temperatures. So yes, it's going to be well above seasonal up in the Churchill area, and perhaps even a little bit of precipitation up in the Churchill area, and that might be one of the few places in the province that we'll be seeing precipitation. And I'm not just talking like today, I'm talking for a stretch of days. Whereas the rest of the northeast, mid to high 20s, not quite in that extreme zone, but yes, well above seasonal. Once we're starting to see those temperatures pushing up into the low to mid 30s, these are the areas that are under the heat warning that Environment Canada has now issued. And much of the province is, so parts of the northwest, pretty much all of southern Manitoba, you can see 36, 37 degrees. More than 10 degrees above seasonal, 22, that would be a normal daytime high, and these temperatures are pushing into a zone that could be considered dangerous if you're not being smart about the time that you're spending out there. And by that, I'm talking about staying hydrated. If you find yourself feeling nauseous, dizzy, if you're not sweating, that's a problem. You should be sweating with these kind of temperatures, and if you're not, you do need to perhaps start to seek medical advice at that point, because that's when you're into the extremes. Heat exhaustion, heat stroke, these are very real conditions and could have some detrimental impact. So I'm just trying to warn you, because this stretch will continue right through the weekend, even into next week. We're still in that low 30 zone.
Thank you, Terry. Let's check in now on the team at 103.1 Virgin Radio. Hi, guys. Happy Thursday.
Good morning. Happy Thursday to you. You know what? We were going to try and fit this in at the end, but it's too important.
Okay.
But Rachel Lagacé, the people who tune in to Your Morning are so unbelievably helpful. Like, remember the other day, Chrissy right at the end was like, hey, text the letter Y to 99999. We'll send you the link to donate to the YWCA of Winnipeg Strong Kids thing.
Yeah.
And so we said that would have been Tuesday, right?
Right.
Well, tons of people from Your Morning saw that and heard that and did it, and it was unbelievable. Like, it made a massive difference.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that.
But you honestly do. Like, it's just the coolest.
So thanks for helping us out.
Yeah,
Thank
huge.
you, Manitoba.
Now, we'll have to speed up this segment now, but so it officially begins June 21st, it being summer. That's the official start of summer. We want to go over some, and this will help you, and they're all positive. Unwritten rules of summer. Number one, and it's very important, perhaps even this week, you've been like, you've already made the mistake. Always have, 24/7, always have at least a little bit of cash on you for lemonade stands, because those kids, that's the backbone of our economy.
Loose change, whatever it takes.
It's the backbone of this country's economy.
Oh, yeah.
Lemonade stands. All right, another unwritten rule. This is also like a PSA. It's a good tip.
Okay, don't be unprepared again. So now, until let's say the end of September,
I think so.
In your vehicle, if you have one, the bathing suit and the beach towel stay there.
I love it.
Good
you're
idea.
having 2 sets of bathing suits. You're always like going somewhere and then you're like, oh my gosh, it would be so nice to go into the water, but I don't have my bathing suit.
Right.
Why are you not just carrying an extra one with you in your vehicle?
That's an
elite
Yeah.
Tip, if you have any others, you can text us 99999 because you're amazing at it, by the way. Everyone who watches the show, like, it's the coolest.
Oh, well, we're so glad that people are responding well. Thanks, you guys. Have a great day. We'll see you on Friday. Or on next week. It was an unexpected connection that changed the life of one Victoria woman. CTV's Adam Sawatsky finds out what happened after she happened upon a crow in distress.
Well, there's just one crow here now. Leah Wilson will never forget the day the sky was full of them.
The crows were dive bombing over here and circling this house.
A crow was stuck in an eaves trough, Leah was told, but nobody had a ladder long enough to save it.
So I was really distressed and knew I had to do something.
So, after noticing a fire truck parked a couple blocks away, Leah raced over to ask for help.
And I was like, hey, you look like you want to save a crow today.
The firefighters agreed and rescued the crow.
Firefighters that were so gracious and wonderful. Just, my heart was so full.
Leah drove the injured bird to the Animal Rehabilitation Center, and in her car, the pair connected.
He latched onto my finger and held on, and that was life-changing.
Leah didn't know exactly how life-changing until a few days later, when she was told the injured bird had been released back into the wild.
When I was going for my walk with my dog, a crow flew down and dropped this beautiful feather bundle at my feet.
And it definitely didn't feel like a fluke.
I was like, wow, this crow gave me a thank you gift.
And that was just the start. Since then, Leah, who's Métis, has received all these items crows have left for her with gratitude.
I grew up with understanding the importance of having a relationship with the natural world. Hello, sweetie.
So now, whenever Leah and her dog go for a walk,
How are ya?
all sorts of crows join them.
Oh, it feels so good. It's like visiting my friends every morning, and I just know they're going to be there.
And that includes the crows she saved,
That's him. That's the star of the show.
who she can easily recognize by the band he got on his leg after being rehabilitated,
He's the highlight of my day.
who, thanks to the efforts of the whole community, Leah says, both the people and the birds, appears to be thriving.
When we are aware of what's happening around us, there's so much potential to come together and beautiful things happen.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News.
Crows are such bright creatures. All right, here's a look outside at Kennison and Sterling Lion Way. It looks good so far this morning. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back after this. It's Thursday, May 28th. Today's signs of progress. What new numbers show about crime rates in Winnipeg. Plus, back in action. How city crews are helping to fix neighborhood issues. And breaking down barriers. How new funding will address food insecurity in a local school division. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Hello, Manitoba. It is 7 o'clock on your Thursday. Thank you so much for joining us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Now, it's really hot outside. It's really dry outside. This is a perfect climate for emergency situations. Last year, we had lots of wildfires. When it's this hot as well, there's heat issues for people who might not have air conditioning. So the Canadian Red Cross, they're always there when you need them in an emergency. But they have advice on how to stay on top of how to plan ahead if an emergency were to happen in your community. So we're going to have them at about 7:52 giving us some of those reminders, but it will be a scorcher today. You need to be prepared.
Yeah, you really do. Environment Canada has gone ahead and issued heat warnings regarding the next stretch of days because we are now pushing into the extremes. I know it's been hot, but it's about to get even hotter yet. And now we're kind of pushing into that dangerous zone. Now, I don't want to scare anybody. I mean, by all means, go outside. This morning is beautiful. 15 degrees. Southeast winds, they're 18 kilometers per hour. Pressure is rising. The humidity sitting at 60%. And we've been waiting for some nice weather to get outside and enjoy. And these morning hours are honestly going to be about as perfect as they get. Through the early part of midday, it's not until later on into the afternoon that we're really pushing into those extremes. But those extremes, they're going to be felt around the entire province. province. Right up into northern Manitoba, we're talking above seasonal temperatures, and the conditions pretty hot and dry. Not much to show you here on the satellite image. The one place that might see a little bit of precipitation is up and around the Churchill area. Possibility of some showers pushing through. Otherwise, yes, dry and extremely hot. We're talking 10 degrees or more, almost 15 degrees here through the south, above what is normal for this time of year. Northwestern Ontario, you're going to be feeling the heat as well. Saskatchewan is too. And in fact, we're under a yellow heat warning. Saskatchewan is under an orange heat warning, just maybe a little more intense. And we could be noticing those more intense conditions pushing in. And that's because these overnight temperatures aren't really settling down enough to kind of cool down. We're reaching these extremes through the day in the mid-30s, but then only dropping into the low 20s in the overnight hours, so no opportunity to cool down even overnight. Our art today is thanks to Isla. Very beautiful. There's kind of like a multi-dimension to this. I'm not sure if it reads on TV, but very cool. And thank you very much for sharing this with us. We're asking to see all of the art that you're working on. Send it pictures of it through our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. And when you do, you're entered to win a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle on Kenniston.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crockadoodle. Spend quality time with loved ones and paint memories together.
Winnipeg's violent crime numbers dropped in 2025. Winnipeg police released their annual crime report Wednesday, which showed the severity of crimes is down nearly 9%. Specifically, homicides, assaults, firearm offenses, and robberies are all trending down. But as CTV's Jeff Keel explains, the police chief cautions this is no victory lap.
There were fewer violent crimes reported in Winnipeg last year.
This marks the second consecutive year of reductions in violent crime.
The Winnipeg Police Service released crime stats for 2025. While overall crime volumes were up 1.1%, violent crimes were down 4.8%, including homicides, assaults, firearm offenses, and robberies. Youth crime dropped 11.7%, and the total severity of crimes was down 8.8%. with the severity of violent crime decreasing 11.2%.
Total crime severity decreased significantly in 2025, driven by one of the largest decreases in violent crime severity in recent history.
For property crimes, theft from vehicles was up 13.2%, but vehicle thefts were down 11.5%. Break and enters dropped 20.4%, and shoplifting was down 4.6%. This after a plan was launched where police patrolled stores and hotspots.
We've put a lot of attention to retail theft. We continue to put attention to that.
Police credit the drop in several crime categories to frontline officers, the public, and new initiatives like the unit that targets violent criminals. Plus, 35 new officers hit the streets in 2025.
Much improvement with police presence downtown.
I would describe this report as progress, but there is still a lot of work left to do.
Case in point drug crimes were up 9.1%, mischief 8.6%, and crime volumes downtown shot up 17.2%.
I work downtown, so it's a little worrying walking to and from every day.
I see undesirable people on street corners, and I'll just go the other way.
And the police were busier in 2025. Dispatched to more than 254,000 incidents, a 6% bump.
This number underscores the continued pressures facing our frontline officers, public safety, communicators, and partner agencies.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Police made 18,777 arrests in 2025, a 12.9% jump from 2024. In addition, 112 hate-motivated crimes were reported to Winnipeg police in 2025, a 154% spike. Police have theories as to why. Global tensions are likely contributing to a rise. Nationally, hate crimes have gone up over the last few years, and a new initiative in 2025 gave people the ability to report hate graffiti online. Several children's products from a Chinese manufacturer are being recalled for issues ranging from the risk of chemical burns to strangulation. Health Canada currently has 9 separate recall notices for products from the kiddo space. That includes finger painting kits, which contain hazardous chemicals, an egg toy puzzle, which presents a choking hazard, and a hammock-style swing set that could become tangled around a child's neck. You're being told to immediately stop using the products and contact the company for either a refund or replacement. You can find a full list of the affected items by visiting Health Canada's website. Potholes, litter, and sidewalk cracks are the usual signs Winnipeg is waking up after a long winter. That's why the city's neighborhood action team is springing back in action. City crews dressed in green uniforms like the ones on your screen will be spending 4 weeks in each ward. 5 teams made up of 7 workers will fix broken street signs, clear branches, or address any other neighborhood concerns you might contact 311 about. And if you haven't called or filled out an online report, you can hand crews that to-do list in person.
When you see them, feel free to say hi, thank them for the work they do, or for sure, add to their list of things to do in the neighborhood.
More details on what the team can do, how to submit requests, and when crews will be in your area can be found on our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. As food insecurity is spiking among Canadian families, a new partnership in the Seven Oaks School Division will help expand meal programs to break down barriers for its students.
It's going to allow us to move into hot meals, right? And that'll be both at breakfast and at lunchtime. And depending on how this moves along at supper time also.
That is part of the plan the division has for the $1.5 million gift it has received from the Schroeder Foundation. Initial investments include building a universal food program kitchen and redeveloping culinary classrooms at Garden City Collegiate, support to provide up to 160 weekly food hampers, and other wraparound supports.
We find out students who are missing school quite a bit, and we have a team of individuals who work with those kids, go out into the community to meet with their families, and really find ways to support them 24/7.
Upgrades will begin in June to be ready for the expanded food program in September. Hampers will begin this summer. Here's a look at what's happening now in traffic at Confusion Corner. Things are slowly picking up in this part of the city. If you see any problems out on the streets, please send us a text to let us know.
RBC reporting adjusted earnings per share for the second quarter that beat the average analyst estimate. The bank is also set to buy back 45 million shares and raised its quarterly dividend by 12 cents to $1.76 per share. CIBC beat estimates, fueled in part by volatile markets that led to higher trading revenue, and announced a deal to offload a Caribbean business for $1.6 billion. The lender earned $2.54 a share on an adjusted basis in its fiscal second quarter, according to a statement released Thursday, topping analysts' $2.42 average estimate. Now, TD reporting fiscal Q2 adjusted earnings today of $2.38 Canadian per diluted share, up from $1.97 a year earlier. Analysts polled by FactSet expected $2.26. Revenue for the quarter ended April 30th was $15.8 billion compared with $22.94 billion a year earlier. CP Kansas City could be hit by a strike by some 300 electrical workers in Canada if there's no deal by Sunday. CP says it has a contingency plan in place to maintain rail operations and customer service if a work stoppage occurs, while negotiations with the union continue into the weekend. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at the Movement Center of Manitoba. It really changes lives, the work that they do there. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. It's going to change cameraman Kenny's life this morning. I just got some breaking news. Pierogi pizza will be coming to the Movement Center later on in the show, but no, no doubt. And if you go to the run coming up on the 14th of June, you are supporting the Movement Center, which is truly changing lives. Coming up in the next hour, we're chatting with Jaden, who last year made himself a bit of a celebrity here. He has quite the personality, and the Movement Center helps people with neuromotor disorders, everything from cerebral palsy to struggling with post-stroke symptoms. So stay with us throughout the morning and see visually what this fundraiser is helping.
Okay, thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. Terry has brand new flowers to show off this morning.
Beautiful. Yes, I am so excited about it, bringing a little life to the rooftop up here. For those of you that have been excited about your own garden, just make sure that you're going to be doing some watering, because Mother Nature is not going to be coming through with that side of things. She's certainly going above and beyond when it comes to the sunshine, and most definitely when it comes to the heat. 17 degrees, so we're already on the rise now. That's up a couple degrees from where we were sitting last hour, but the breeze has also increased ever so slightly now out of the south-southeast, gusting to 29 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 59%. Once again, a blue, beautiful, cloudless sky out here. There's not going to be much in the way of clouds and not going to be anything really in the way of precipitation unless you're in the very northern part of the province, northeastern Manitoba, around the Churchill area, the possibility of some scattered showers. But even Churchill is likely to be climbing up into the double digits or low teens today, compared to the extremes that other places will be experiencing in the low 30s right up into the northwestern part of the province, and low or mid to almost high 30s here throughout southern Manitoba. And it's not just today, overnight, and we're going to do it all over again tomorrow.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Same-day oil and tire changes.
It's time now for a question of the day. Today is Hamburger Day, so we want to know, how do you like your burger? You can text your answer to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response, and don't forget to include your name, please.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic. Science-backed body contouring.
It's time for our Pet of the Week reveal. This week we're celebrating Willie Nelson. He's a 12-year-old Havanese, and he's always searching for the sun to take a warm nap. Willie loves chasing the neighbor's cat when it gets too close to our bird feeder. Thank you, Suzanne, for sharing this photo and Willie's little story. And congrats to this good little boy. We love your Pet of the Week submissions, so keep them coming, please. Share a photo and a fun story of your pet, dog, cat, bird, or any other buddy at petoftheweek@ctv.ca. And then make sure to watch Thursdays to see if your pet is named our Pet of the Week. Wake up and win with CTV Your Morning and Manitoba Blue Cross. We can pay your bills with a massive $20,000. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. Today's code word is Thrive. Head to the contest page at ctvwinnipeg.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter Thrive with your info for your chance to win the Your Morning $20,000 Pay Your Bills contest, brought to you by Manitoba Blue Cross, your local trusted health benefits provider. Good luck. We have an update on that shooting in northern Manitoba Tuesday, in which 2 people who were riding an ATV had to be airlifted to hospital in Winnipeg. It happened shortly after midnight in Matthias Colomb Cree Nation, also known as Puckatawagan. RCMP now say a 15-year-old boy was arrested at a home in the community Tuesday evening. He remains in custody and is facing several charges, including aggravated assault and discharging a firearm with intent. The shooting injured a 21-year-old man and 17-year-old boy. A Calgary woman is speaking out after she was attacked while waiting for a city train. A warning, her injuries are severe.
She just kept on hitting me, and I don't know who saved me because I lost consciousness.
Sandra Steffens was allegedly beaten at a train station in an apparent robbery attempt this month. She was left with broken bones and a concussion. The suspect, 34-year-old Brittany Jewel Mahinjan, has been charged and previously spent 5 years in jail for her mother's murder, and was also charged in a stabbing incident. 5 of 7 villagers trapped in a cave in Laos for more than a week have been found alive. Take a look at this. Cheering erupted outside the cave when the 5 were discovered. Rescuers are now continuing their search for the other 2 villagers. The group went into the cave last week to look for gold. They were trapped after heavy rain and a landslide. Going to the hospital can sometimes be a stressful experience, especially for children, but an overhaul at a key waiting area at HSC Children's Hospital is likely to make the trip a little less intimidating. This is your first look inside the appropriately named Smile Zone. It features vibrant colors, calming displays, and some interactive features. The goal is to offer some comfort and much needed distraction to families during what can often be a difficult time.
I mean, it's an area, I believe, for scans, CT scans and x-rays and so on. So I believe everyone will, you know, if it helps with their emotions and helps make them comfortable, all the better. And for the staff as well, too.
The project was made possible through support by the Brian, Connor, and Dee Family Foundation. Here's a look at the drive along Portage Avenue at this point this morning. Things appear to be moving quite well over here. If you see any issues out on the street, please send us a text and let us know.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. No appointment needed.
In entertainment, a golden opportunity for K-pop Demon Hunter fans is coming to Centennial Concert Hall. It's called K-Hunters The Show and is a live tribute to the hit animated film. Audience members will be transported to Korea, where K-pop idols battle demons in order to save the world. The high-energy stage production, with features all the songs, choreography, and characters, which made the original a global phenomenon. The takedown hits the stage on August 4th at 7 p.m. Tickets go on sale this Friday at 11 a.m. on Centennial Concert Hall's website. As the New York Mets were trying to honor actor J.K. Simmons Tuesday night, proceedings were interrupted by someone that can only be described as a criminal, a vigilante, and a public menace. J. Jonah Jameson had the perfect opportunity to get a picture of Spider-Man right behind him. Simmons plays the publisher of the Daily Bugle in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movies and was on hand at Citi Field last night to throw out the ceremonial first pitch. One of the most prolific TV actors of all time is about to make her Broadway debut. Julia Louis-Dreyfus will star in the revival of Other Desert Cities. Her role was previously played by Stockard Channing back in 2012 when it was nominated for a Tony for Best Play. JLD is an 11-time Emmy winner and is the only woman to win an acting award for 3 separate comedy series. Her 16-week run on Broadway will begin in October. Your Thursday primetime lineup starts with Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage at 7. Following is Children Ruin Everything at 8. And Traders Canada is on at 9. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
I didn't realize this was a Broadway debut for her. I've seen her perform, singing and doing all of that stuff. Must have just been in reviews. Anyway, that'll be pretty incredible to see. Here's a look right now through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. It is beautiful out there, pleasant. These temperatures, they're not extreme yet, but they will become so. So if you want to get outside at some point today, I've been saying, I've been living it up for the morning hours because, I mean, personally, I siesta through the afternoon when those temperatures are going to get intense, and I can't recommend that enough if you have the opportunity to do so. Okay, 17 degrees, that's what we're sitting at here in Winnipeg, 15 in Portage and in Morden Winkler, 16 at the moment over in Brandon. Just to have something to compare this to, a seasonal low would be around 8 degrees. We're doubling these numbers already this morning and seeing those mid or low teens pushing right up into the north. Even Churchill, several degrees above the freezing mark, 5 to kick off your morning. Few extra clouds across the north. That's where there might be a little bit of precipitation. I know we're seeing some green down here. That is just our little satellite system kind of, I guess, on the fritz a little bit. It just sometimes we see green showing up that isn't actual rain that's hitting the ground, and we're not going to see any rain. Nothing but clear blue sky and dry conditions, and a whole lot of heat to come along with it. 33 degrees by the time kids are home from school, and 35 are expected high, not just today, tomorrow too, with overnight lows in the low 20s, staying in those low 30s right throughout the coming weekend. No sign of precipitation until the start of next week. Look at this form. This is a sport. It happens out at St. Andrews. There's a big competition coming up. Gator is training for it and looking good too. Thanks to Pat for sharing the photo. Keep them coming, please, to Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca.
May 28th, 1934. The Dion quintuplets were born in Callander, Ontario. Annette, Émilie, Yvonne, Cécile, and Marie were the first quints to survive more than a few days. The Ontario government placed them in a specially built hospital where the children were put on public display. In 1998, the 3 surviving sisters and their families received $4 million in compensation from the Ontario government for their childhood mistreatment. May 28th, 2010. The iPad was finally available at Canadian stores. The tablet computer was first released in the U.S. about 8 weeks earlier and quickly sold more than 1 million units. Canadians had to wait because demand was stronger than Apple had expected. Hours-long first-day lineups for the iPad were noted at Apple stores in Toronto and at Winnipeg's Polo Park location. May 28th, 2025. All 5,000 residents of Flin Flon, Manitoba were ordered to evacuate their community because of an out-of-control wildfire. The fire began in the Saskatchewan town of Crichton and crossed the Manitoba boundary. Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew ordered a province-wide state of emergency because of a series of crippling wildfires. Members of the Manitoba legislature are going overtime as they hash out a bill on affordability.
I'm trying to take the tax off of your groceries, and I got to say there's nothing less helpful to your cost of living than procedural stunts in the legislature.
The legislature sat overnight and into Wednesday morning in an ongoing battle over a government budget bill that includes a tax cut on some food items. Calvin Gertson spoke for roughly 4 hours via Zoom without stopping. The bill contains several measures, including elimination of the provincial sales tax on items such as prepared meals, snacks, and soft drinks at grocery and convenience stores. The opposition Progressive Conservatives say the tax cut doesn't amount to much and have called for an income tax cut to be added to the bill.
We have said as opposition that we want to work with the NDP government, that we want to work with the Premier, that we will compromise, we will work together to put in real affordability measures. So we've already presented that. We've said it for the last 30 hours. We've said that in the chamber. And so the ball's in the Premier's court.
The government has said the food tax cut cannot take effect on July 1st as planned unless the Tories let the bill pass before the legislature's summer break, scheduled to start on Monday. If you like to groove, check out this Your Morning Winnipeg contest. The Winnipeg International Jazz Festival will be happening from June 16th to the 21st. And this is your chance to win a pair of tickets to 2 shows at Burton Cummings Theatre. Soul Supreme on June 17th and Miles Electric Band on June 21st. 50 artists from around the world are coming for its 35th annual festival. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca. And don't forget to enter the keyword trumpet. Good luck. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at the Movement Centre of Manitoba. You're going to tell us about the rehabilitation therapy programs that are there. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. We're learning all about this specialized therapy that's helping so many kids and families. Christopher Martin joins us now. He's a conductor here. What is a conductor? What do you guys do here, Chris?
So essentially what I'm doing is the therapy is kind of like I'm conducting a band. I'm saying the tasks that we're going to do, and then the group is doing it together. And then we use counting and rhythm to help regulate the movements. A lot of our clients are dealing with spasticity and tight muscles, and so it often results in quick, jerky movements. So we are helping them say the task, think about what they're doing, and then move slowly to carry out those movements in a more productive manner.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are told that they may never move in a certain way, but you, I shouldn't say miracles, but you put it in your own words, you're truly seeing miracles every day.
I certainly would like to think so. We don't want to limit the potential of anyone that comes here, and we want someone to do their best. So what we want to do is we want to look down the line at all the things that they're going to be doing within their life, and that might be walking, that might be using their chair, that might be eating, rolling, crawling, whatever it might be. But the one thing we don't want to do is say that someone can't do something or say it's not worth working on.
Mm-hmm. And with it being a holistic approach, you're meeting people where they are and helping them with their own interests. Tell us about that.
For sure. I mean, the thing I tell everybody is I learned algebra in high school and I promptly forgot it because I never used it. So I can tell someone that they need to use this certain exercise or this modality and it's going to be good for them. But if it doesn't mean anything for them and if they don't go home and use it, what's the point? And then also, specifically for the children, if it's going to motivate them, they're going to do it way more. So instead of just climbing up the wall bars, we're climbing up to put the sail on the pirate ship. Or, you know, you need a reason to walk. You need a reason to go and get over to that toy. So the more fun we can make it, the more engaging it's going to be. The more they're going to do it here, and especially the more they're going to do it in their lives.
In less than 30 seconds, why should people support the run?
So we receive no direct government funding, and we do a ton of work to offset the fees for the clients so that this can be affordable for everybody. So in a few minutes, you're going to see me and Jaden doing some awesome work. And if you want to help kids like him in Manitoba, send a couple dollars our way.
Thank you so much. I love that we've been previewing, Jaden, because it's truly a kid to watch.
Okay, can't wait. Thank you, Ainsley. And today is going to be a hot one. You're going to want to stay hydrated and dress well.
You're right. Both of those things will be so important, especially later on into the afternoon. 17 degrees is where we're sitting right now, with a south-southeast wind gusting to 29 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising, the humidity sitting at 56%. And yes, the heat will be felt in such a big way that Environment Canada has gone ahead and issued heat warnings for much of the province, right up into parts of northern Manitoba. Low 30 temperatures are expected. Many of us will be up into the mid to even high 30s, and it's not just today. We're going to do this for a couple of days in a row. Up into the far northeast is the one place that might see a little bit of precipitation today. Other than that, the entire province, sunny, hot, and dry. A little bit breezy, that wind increasing to about 30 kilometers per hour out of the south. 35 degrees, that temperature also increasing in a very big way. That's more than 10 degrees above seasonal. 22 would be a normal daytime high. 8 would be a normal low temperature, but you can see our low is a lot closer to a seasonal daytime high. And a lot of the reason that the heat warnings get issued have to do with these overnight temperatures and the lack of a cool down throughout overnight, which just means we're increasing on top of already warm temperatures throughout the following day. So 35 degrees expected again for tomorrow. Once again, a bit of a breeze out of the south at about 30 clicks. Now we're going to stay in those low 30s throughout the weekend. A few more clouds Saturday, so it might not seem as extreme, but these temperatures still continue to be well above seasonal, even as they drop a couple degrees.
A Manitoba Bear Rescue is taking a rural municipality to court over its approval of a nearby quarry. Manitoba Bear Rehabilitation Centre and its owners, Judith and Roger Stearns, filed an application with the Court of King's Bench on May 22nd. They allege the quarry's operation threatens the rescue's ability to function, citing blasting, vibration, noise, dust, and other factors. They further allege the municipality of Rockwood approved extraction applications without fully disclosing what drove the decision, which it says denied the rescue a fair chance to respond. The RM of Rockwood, along with the companies behind the quarry and others, are named as defendants. The RM has declined to comment, citing the ongoing lawsuit. The companies involved have not yet responded to our request for comment. No statements of defense have been filed, and the claims have not yet been tested in court. It just became easier for residents of Brandon to check out what projects are underway across the city. The city has just unveiled its online capital project dashboard. It features a list of civic projects that are currently underway and offers some details on their timelines and construction phases. There's also a map residents can use to see where projects are happening. It currently lists 38 projects, ranging from water main replacements to new roundabouts to sidewalk replacements. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps says it targeted an American airbase in the Middle East after new U.S. strikes in southern Iran. The IRGC didn't say where the base was. However, Kuwait, which does host a base, said it had intercepted hostile missile and drone threats. Earlier, the U.S. military said it's shot down Iranian drones over the Strait of Hormuz and hit a military site in a strategic port city. It's the second time in 3 days the U.S. has attacked targets in Iran. They say it was in self-defense.
The strait's going to be open to everybody. Nobody's going to control it. It's international waters.
U.S. President Donald Trump insists he won't be rushed into a deal with Iran. He says the Iranian regime is trying to outlast him, but that won't work because he doesn't care about the upcoming midterm elections. President Trump is also rejecting the idea of allowing any country to control the Strait of Hormuz. Oman is said to be in talks with Iran to open the shipping lane. Outgoing MP Stephen Guilbeault says he's not the only Liberal caucus member upset with the party's policy shift on the environment.
That platform, so commitments that we made to Canadians, mentioned climate change 28 times. It did not mention pipeline once.
Guilbeault, in an interview with CTV Power Play yesterday, said last year's election platform made commitments to Canadians on the environment that aren't being fulfilled. He also says he's worried the federal government's MOU with Alberta, which includes the possible construction of a pipeline, will put Canada's emission reduction targets out of reach. A new report on climate change is predicting the Earth will keep breaking temperature records over the next 5 years.
It's very likely, so an 86% chance, that one in the next 5 years will set a new record, which is currently 2024. And there's a 91% chance that the global average temperature will exceed 1.5 degrees for at least 1 year in the next 5.
The report comes from the United Nations Weather Agency. It says over the next 5 years, global temperatures will range between 1.3 to 1.9 degrees above pre-industrial levels. 1.5 degrees is the level set by the Paris Accords to avoid the worst effects of climate change. The report also says the Arctic will also keep warming over the next 5 years. Arctic warming could cause more severe weather events affecting people in the Northern Hemisphere. People living in a neighborhood in New Brunswick are planning to take legal action against a potato chip company that moved into town last year. The 17 people are alleging the covered bridge facility has ruined their community with noise, smell, and traffic. The company opened its plant in Woodstock last year after its original factory in Waterville was destroyed by fire. The plant is located at an industrial park sitting beside a residential neighborhood. It's up to the Farm Practices Review Board to determine if legal action can move forward. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning on St. Mary Avenue. The westbound median lane will be closed from Main to Fort Street. The westbound curb lane on Crane Avenue will be closed from Buxton Road to Oriel Street. And only one northbound lane is open on Edmonton Street between Broadway and Portage. If you see any issues out on the streets, please send us a text to let us know. Here's a look at your gas prices in Winnipeg. The average is $1.68. It's lower than it was yesterday. And the lowest price in the city is $1.50, found at 204 Fuels on Salter Street and Co-op on Gateway Road. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Right now it is sunny. It's 17 degrees and is expected to get way hotter today. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back after this.
Alrighty, we're in for another hot day today. Hotter than it's been, in fact, and we've already been dealing with some hot days, but now we're headed up into the extremes. Beginning, though, very pleasant, 17 degrees. South-southeast winds are gusting to 29 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity sitting at 56%. I'll say it every day, these morning hours are the best to get outside and enjoy. Get your steps in, go for a walk, get the dog out, because your dog's not even going to want to be out there for very long in the kind of temperatures that we're expecting later today. A little tour around the province. You can see a few extra clouds up north. That's where there may be a little bit of precipitation right up around the Churchill area. But look at these temperatures, well above seasonal. 7 degrees would be I think around, sorry, I'm going to have to double check what is normal in the Churchill area. I mean, it's in the single digits easily, and maybe just mid-single digits. So you're going to be headed about 10 degrees above normal. Other places will be up into those mid to high 20s. And we're talking when you should normally be in the high teens, so about 10 degrees above seasonal through the northeastern part of the province. And here in the northwest, you could be pushing up into those low to mid 30s even, included in the heat warnings that have been issued across much of, well, parts of northern Manitoba, all of southern Manitoba under those heat warnings. And it has as much to do with the temperatures that we're reaching through the day as it does with the temperatures that we're going to fall to overnight. Mid-30s or high 30s through the day puts us well above seasonal, but it's a lack of an opportunity to cool down in the overnight hours when the mercury is only falling to what would seasonal daytime highs be in and around those low 20s for the overnight temperatures, and then just ramping up throughout the daytime again. So mid-30s for the next couple of days, low 30s throughout the weekend, and still sticking in those high 20s on the other side of that.
Thank you, Terry. Let's go now to Ainsley, who's with the Movement Center of Manitoba this morning. You're going to introduce us to the ambassador of the Pierogi Run. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Yes, Jaden is joining us now, and Christopher is as well. We interviewed you last year, and you were an astronaut, and you had some canes with you. This time, I don't see any canes, and you're a baseball player.
Because I've got better at it, and it's really helping me to do it. Like, I have got better at it over time.
Well, it sounds like you've done a lot of practicing too. And baseball is one of those skills that you practice. Is that something that you really enjoy?
Yeah.
What have you learned?
I learned how to hit, like, really good, and like I'm practicing my throwing, and it's really helping me to get my arms muscles.
Well, you're looking pretty strong, and I want us to do a demonstration too. So Christopher's going to help us out, and we're going to see how it's done, right?
Right.
Right. Okay, let's go, Chris.
Should we say it like in class? No? Okay, all right, you just stand up then. Go for it. Good, so we've been working on this lots with Jaden. Independently standing up is a new skill that Jaden's learned, and then he said it was a secret, so I won't talk about how he's walking on his own. We'll just, nothing to see here.
And he's moving so well, and we're even going to get to the point where he's hitting the ball. And I told him to aim for the target, which is our cameraman, Ken. Let's see. You got 30 seconds left to whack it out of the park. Wow! How do you feel about that one?
Good.
Yeah? Okay, you got like 15 seconds. I believe you got 10 seconds. I believe you have enough time for one more. Ready, Jaden? Whoa! Home run. Come to the pierogi run, everybody. This is what you're supporting.
Amazing. Way to go, Jaden. Thank you, Ainsley. Prices at the pumps continue to be a point of contention for many Canadians as warmer weather is now setting in. Major cities along both Pacific and Atlantic coasts maintain the highest average cost for a liter of gas, while there's relief in other areas around the country where the average price is expected to dip near 10 cents a liter. CTV's Kamil Karamali joins us now with more. Good morning, Kamil.
Hey, good morning, Rochelle. Great to see you.
You too. Thanks for being here. Now, Canadians coast to coast continue dealing with fluctuating gas prices when they head to the pumps. Break down the numbers for us, please.
Yeah, Rochelle, got some good news for you this morning as prices at the pump are expected to drop about 10 cents compared to what they were at Wednesday. So in Winnipeg and primarily across Manitoba, we were seeing about 172 cents per liter and now going down to 162. So just some good news for Manitobans and people in Winnipeg who want to maybe fill up before the weekend begins. You're going to see around 162 is the average price, down 10 cents than it was about 48 hours ago. And we're also seeing some pumps at about 150, 152, 154 cents per liter across Winnipeg. So some good news and some well-needed reprieve at the pumps. And so we know that this is really to do with some optimism that there could be a peace deal between the U.S. and Iran and have the Strait of Hormuz open up, allowing for more oil to flow through. We've already seen a shift take place in Manitoba, in Ontario, with markets reacting a bit more swiftly at these headlines that officials say they're working to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. But Rochelle, when it comes to the long-term ripple effect to see gas prices down to 120, 130, it could take 3 to 6 months even if a peace deal is reached, because they have to get those refineries up and running again. There's a big log jam, a traffic jam in the Strait of Hormuz that needs to be straightened out. So it would take 3 to 6 months until we see prices come back down. But 10 cents is what you're saving compared to 48 hours ago if you choose to fill up now.
Thank you, Kamil, for your time today. Let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy 2nd birthday, Hudson. Love Nanny and Grandpa. Happy 70th birthday to Les. Lots of love from all your family and friends. Happy 12th birthday, Lexi, from Nane, Tate, Ate, and fur baby Logan. Happy 74th birthday, Nana Jan. Love from your granddaughter, Maddie. Happy 12th birthday, Khalil, with love from your family and friends. Happy 1st birthday, Essence. Love Dad, Mom, and your brothers, who all love you so much. And a happy 60th anniversary to Ken and Shirley. Love from your amazing children and grandkids. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Milestones is brought to you by Party Stuff, Winnipeg's balloon headquarters with 3 locations.
Weather is brought to you by the Better Business Bureau. Research at bbb.org before you buy.
35 degrees. 35 degrees. What? Ooh, we could hit a record if we hit that today. Anyway, 22 is normal. Last year we went beyond it, got up to 26.4. Back in 19.9, 35 degrees. Let's see if we do that again. Not that that would be like a winner. It's too darn hot. Even Director Kim said in my ear this morning, that's too much. She's right about that. And Environment Canada is in agreement, having issued heat warnings now throughout much of the province because of where these temperatures are headed, not just through the day, overnight when they're really not cooling down or providing any kind of relief. This morning, though, it's beautiful. It's pleasant, 17 degrees. There's a bit of a breeze gusting to 29 kilometers per hour out of the south-southeast. The pressure is rising. The humidity is sitting at 56%. The sun is shining, beautiful and bright. Grab the sunglasses. Find yourself a cool spot, especially later on today. Splash pads, they're opening up. We've got our water stations around the city now if you need them, because staying hydrated is absolutely key with the kind of heat that we're going to be feeling today. And if you do find yourself experience nausea, dizziness, those are signs of some heat fatigue, and you've got to get yourself into a cool place. A cool shower, a bath, whatever it is. Mid-30s or high 30s for some is where we're headed today, only down into the 20-degree range as we drop off overnight.
From wildfires, flooding, and severe weather, when an emergency happens in Manitoba, the Canadian Red Cross often steps in to help people in their time of need. With summer just around the corner, the Red Cross has reminders for Manitobans on how to be prepared for any emergency. Joining us now from the Canadian Red Cross is Jason Small. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us.
No problem.
Now, we're not officially into summer already, but you've been responding to some summer-like emergencies, for example, in Peguis with the flooding. So tell us what kind of response you do when it comes to flooding or wildfires, and what happens when there's an emergency.
Yeah, well, we work with governments on, providing whatever is needed. So in past years, we've done things like evacuations, helping communities, putting people up in hotels and supporting people as long as they need to when they're out of their homes. So it's a lot of it's things like that. It's whatever's needed that we can provide, especially to fill gaps. We also help people, individual people, maybe gone through house fires or apartment fires, and we can put them up for 3 days and provide support that way. So it's just mainly what we feel is needed and in a situation, in a response, and what we're asked to support.
You must have people, they're in the midst of some of the most difficult times of their life, obviously, and so when you appear, there must be a sigh of relief from them.
Obviously our team, we've got a good trained team of volunteers, and they're very helpful, and that provides us some support that people need. But we understand these people are going through a very challenging situation, maybe some of the worst situations they'll ever go through. So our team is just there to be supportive, to be empathetic, and to try to help people through that situation.
Okay, so we talked about some of the emergencies you would respond at this time, but there's also weather issues like tornadoes or even, a crazy storm. So when the season changes, how does your response change?
Well, our team is always prepared to provide the basics that we can provide regardless of the situation.
Okay.
People talk about a response season, and yet summer we've got wildfires, floods, potentials for tornadoes, but we've been responding year-round. We had a power outage earlier this year. We've had flooding, so the time of year doesn't really matter. There's always something, and our team is always prepared as best they can to support those situations.
Your team is prepared, but you're recommending people at home be prepared ahead of time. You want them to think about if there is an emergency coming, they should have a plan in place. What is an emergency plan? What does it look like?
The big thing is an emergency plan, and people can find out more by going to our website, redcross.ca/ready. We have plan templates in 10 different languages there. And it's just so that your family knows if an emergency happens, how are we going to reconnect? How do we evacuate? If we're separated, who are we going to call to connect to? Is there somebody outside the community we could all call to let them know we're okay? Little things like that, and just the things in the house that are available, plus where do we find the emergency kit? who takes that? All these little things that a family can go through so that we're ready. We always say that at a time when there's not a response is the best time for you to prepare, to make that plan, and to make that kit.
And the emergency kit is also something that you should have. You have an emergency kit here with you. What typically should you have in your kit?
You know, it should have some basics: water, non-perishable food items, things like a radio, and maybe a can opener if you have canned food.
Okay.
Important documents for your family. The big thing we say is to tailor it to your family. So if you have pets, maybe pet medication or extra pet supplies. Maybe your family has medications. Myself, I put in extra pair of glasses into it.
Yeah.
So things to think that your family's going to want, or certain food or certain activities for children. You know, it's just these things to think about for, usually we say up to 72 hours, and then for people in more remote areas, maybe think 7 to 10 days.
And if you have an extra suitcase with wheels, it's a great way to pack an emergency kit. It's easy to transport. Yep. It's ready for you wherever you store it, and you're ready to go. Jason, thank you so much for sharing this with us. If you want more info, we have a link on our website. Thank you.
Thank you.
Community Connection is brought to you by Mr. Reuter Plumbing. Born to be a hero, trained to be a plumber.
Hey everyone, Wesley Chang here inside the SportsCenter newsroom with your must-see moment from Wednesday. And for it, let's head to Baltimore as Orioles hosting the Rays and Jonathan Heasley on the mound for Tampa, making his first Major League appearance since 2024. Not feeling so well, and there's proof. Moments later, more puking from the Rays pitcher. Yeah, maybe it was something he ate. Either way, able to crack a smile, laugh it off. He'd stay in the game, but that brief delay worthy enough to be our must-see moment. And tune in right now to TSN to catch our continuing coverage of Roland Garros, as Felix Auger-Aliassime and Vicky Mboko will both be in action today. That's all for now from the SportsCenter newsroom. Have a great day.
The TSN must-see moment is brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, featuring Hunter Douglas products.
It's Thursday, May 28th. Winnipeg police crunched the numbers and released their annual report. Which crime categories are trending downward and which are on the rise? Canada snubs the U.S. and looks to a European company for an aircraft-mounted defense system. How many jobs could the project bring to this side of the Atlantic? And what it's like to your boat by yourself, not so gently, across a huge expanse of ocean. An American woman trying it right now, hopes to break a record. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. It's 8 o'clock on your Thursday. Thank you so much for staying with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Now, we know there's potholes, there's cracks, there's bumps, there's all kinds of issues with our roads.
My car bill knows.
Exactly. There's a lot of roads that a lot of people complain about. And so CAA Manitoba, every year, they put on their Worst Roads campaign. Well, the results are in. And we're going to have a look at what roads have been voted the worst in our province. So you'll want to stay tuned for that. It's at about 8:27. But when it's this hot outside, it's not. The roads are hot. Everything seems a little bit off.
Yeah. Even you probably seem a little bit off, especially in the afternoons. That's a good time to just shut down, go inside for a nap, find a cool space, and escape the heat that will be ramping up throughout the day today. It's 17 degrees right now, and you can see the camera shaking. The winds have increased a little bit. They're out of the south-southeast. They're gusting to 29 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising, and the humidity is sitting at 56%. The conditions really haven't changed over the past couple of days. It's still very clear, very dry, and it's only going to get hotter. I know it's been hot for the past couple of days, but the last couple of days have been hot in the high 20s, which is still well above seasonal. But where we're headed today and for the next couple of days is going to put us up into the mid-30s, and that goes right up into parts of northwestern Manitoba. As a result, heat warnings have been issued through parts of the northwest, all along that western border, all of southern Manitoba included in that. However, northeastern Manitoba, it's not like it's going to be cool for you. You're still going to be well above what you would expect this time of year. You might get a little bit of precipitation in the Churchill area, but even Churchill is likely to climb up into the mid-teens today. Now, that's not extreme, so you're not a part of that heat warning, but it is still well above what you would expect for this time of year. The heat warnings through the rest of the province will likely remain in place because even overnight, we're not cooling down, nowhere near seasonal values throughout the overnight hours, and no opportunities to crack a window and let some cooler air in. And then tomorrow, those temperatures just ramping up again. We might start to see a few more clouds over the next couple of days, especially Saturday, and that could make a difference to what it feels like, although the temperatures themselves are still likely to remain in those low to almost mid-30s. A little bit of a cool down comes our way for next week, but 22 degrees is normal, and we're still remaining well above that. Isla, thank you very much for this beautiful artwork that you shared with us today, and we'd love to see more of what you're working on. So keep the art coming. Send it to us through our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and when you do, you're entered to win a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle on Keniston.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crockadoodle. Spend quality time with loved ones and paint memories together.
Winnipeg is starting to move the needle on violent crime. That's according to the Winnipeg Police Service's annual statistical report released Wednesday. It shows a significant drop in a number of types of crime, including homicides and robberies. Police saw an almost 49% drop in homicides, bringing last year's total to 22. There were also fewer robberies, all assaults, and reports of uttering threats. As for weapon-related offenses, bear spray crimes had a modest increase, but firearms and knife crimes both dipped. Winnipeg Police Service say the report shows encouraging process.
Total crime severity decreased significantly in 2025, driven by one of the largest decreases in violent crime severity in recent history. Both violent crime volume and severity decreased for the second consecutive year.
The crime news Wednesday wasn't all positive. Extortion and kidnapping, forcible confinement saw an upswing. Criminal harassment particularly increased a staggering 65%. Police made 18,777 arrests in 2025, a 12.9% jump from 2024. The province has issued a wildfire alert for a region in the northern Interlake. The Emergency Management Organization says a wildfire was reported Tuesday near Easterville and Shimamawin First Nation. Online wildfire monitoring services show it is roughly 1.5 kilometers southwest of Easterville. However, the EMO says there is currently no threat to lives or homes. It's listed as approximately 412 hectares in size. According to the province's latest wildfire report, there were 7 fires burning across the province as of Tuesday. Only one was deemed out of control, and that's the fire by Easterville. Canada is entering talks with Sweden for a new defense surveillance system.
A partnership will establish Canadian-based production capability, including aircraft conversion and missionization.
The Global Eye surveillance system is made by Saab. This system is mounted on top of a Bombardier jet. Ottawa says this deal could lead to more than 3,000 jobs and create tens of billions of dollars in economic spin-offs. Bombardier could manufacture as many as 40 aircraft at its plants in Montreal and Toronto. Ottawa chose this Swedish system over a U.S. competitor. This deal still needs to be negotiated, and that's expected to take a few more months. A 31-year-old woman is making her way across the ocean, hoping to become the first American woman to row solo from California to Hawaii.
It has been a hard day. I have not figured out how you sleep and do this. I think collectively, over the last 5 days, I have gotten maybe 7 hours of sleep total.
That's Kelsey Fendler. She's been at sea in the Pacific since May 21st. She's been sharing her progress on social media, even showing off her blistered hands on day 2. Once complete, her trip will cover more than 3,800 kilometers. She's looking to break a world record of doing it in 86 days, 10 hours, and 5 minutes. Here's a look at traffic now along the St. Mary's Road. Things appear to be moving quite well over here. We have no reports of crashes or stalls or anything else to tell you about at this point in the drive. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's introduced us to a baseball star. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. If you're watching right now and your television starts to get a little foggy, it's because Jaden's knocked it out of the park and hit the lens. Jamie's joining us now. He's dad. Tell us about some of the progression he's made at the Movement Center.
Yeah, so I think we've been coming here for over 4 years now to the Movement Center, and
when Jane first started here, using his walker was kind of a very difficult task for him. So since then, he's progressed to using canes, and now kind of starting to walk independently without any support at all. So
Heads up, he says.
Hitting baseballs and standing on his own now is becoming easier as time's gone on. So yeah, coming to the movement center every week is a lot of fun for Jaden. We do things like these kind of all the time, and so building the fun into the conductive education aspect is makes things a lot easier for him.
And mentally too, like there's so many components to this, but heads up guys, physically and mentally, how many gains have you seen in that regard?
A lot of more confidence, like you said. Yeah, he's been exposed to maybe a lot of environments that kids his age haven't been exposed to, so he's got to meet a lot of people, definitely helped him be comfortable, I would say, in different environments and meeting new people and learning new
Good one.
Yeah, learning new things. So yeah, it's been great.
All right, one big hit here. Let's see it. Awesome ball. And before we hit the next one, I just want to do a little bit of a post-game interview. How are you feeling right now?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's been a really good experience for this, and I've been moving on to stuff like in like 4 minutes.
Yeah, you've been whacking balls for a solid 4 minutes. All right, I wish I could ask him about how he hit cameraman Kenny, but one more. I know we have 10 seconds. Hit one more, hit one more. We'll play out. Sit up. You got it, you got it. We gotta go. Yeah!
All right, thank you, Jaden. BC's top doctor wants to raise the price of raising a glass and cost booze according to alcohol content. The stronger the drink, the higher the price, and make a clearer connection for consumers about links to cancer. CTV's Andrew Johnson on the report driving the calls for change.
Victoria's Fizz non-alcoholic bottle shop is a business built around making the move away from booze.
There is more and more and more demand for alternatives to alcohol.
That shift, driven by young people, is mentioned in a new report from BC's top doctor. But Bonnie Henry says British Columbians are still drinking too much and more than the Canadian average.
Drinking less alcohol is better for our overall health, and that's the central message of this report.
The report makes several recommendations, including a new awareness campaign to make sure more people know alcohol causes cancer and warning labels similar to cigarettes. The report found the price of booze, adjusted for inflation, has gone down in BC over the past 2 decades, and that when the price goes up, people drink less. The current model in BC bases minimum prices by volume, so a can of beer that's 7% alcohol isn't required to be any more expensive than a 4% beer. Stronger booze is a better value, but maybe not for long. The report proposes changing the model to make stronger drinks more expensive, and a recommendation the province come up with its new strategy without what it calls industry influence, which got the attention of Wine Growers BC.
We think we have some really valuable perspective to share, and I think the best policies are born from collaboration. So to say industry shouldn't be at the table is just the wrong approach.
It's now up to the province to act on the recommendations.
Pour that in there.
As Canadians make their own choice whether to add booze to their next cocktail. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Vancouver.
We're looking now through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. I feel like coming off of that story is a good time to remind you that staying hydrated is absolutely key in this weather. But when we talk about the importance of staying hydrated, we really are talking about water. So do make sure that you are keeping something close at hand or using some of the city's water stations that have been announced. We've got a list of them in the news. You'll find them on our website too. So do take all of the necessary precautions as we're rolling into a little bit of a heat wave. And I know that it's been hot, but it is about to get hotter. 19 degrees is where we bumped up to now, seeing those temperatures all throughout southern Manitoba, right up into the northwest. 18 degrees at the moment in the Pas, 16 for Thompson, and in Lynn Lake, even Churchill on the rise, now sitting at 6 degrees. And you're going to be climbing up into the mid-teens today with some heavier clouds perhaps in that region, and maybe even some precipitation. That might be the only bit of precipitation that we're seeing throughout the province. Otherwise, plenty of sunshine, plenty of heat, and unfortunately for the rest of us, no sign of rain. 21 degrees as kids get into the classroom, 28 through the lunch hour, and up to 33 degrees by the time kids are coming home from school. Now, that's not even as hot as it's going to get. 35 on tap for today and tomorrow, with low 20s expected overnight. Those 30-degree temperatures, they're going to continue through the weekend, and next week, only dipping slightly, still remaining well above seasonal. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
RBC reporting adjusted earnings per share for the second quarter that beat the average analyst estimate. The bank is also set to buy back 45 million shares and raised its quarterly dividend by 12 cents to $1.76 per share. CIBC beat estimates, fueled in part by volatile markets that led to higher trading revenue, and announced a deal to offload a Caribbean business for $1.6 billion. The lender earned $2.54 a share on an adjusted basis in its fiscal second quarter, according to a statement released Thursday, topping analysts' $2.42 average estimate. Now, TD reporting fiscal Q2 adjusted earnings today of $2.38 Canadian per diluted share, up from $1.97 a year earlier. Analysts polled by FactSet expected $2.26. Revenue for the quarter ended April 30th was $15.8 billion, compared with $22.94 billion a year earlier. CP Kansas City could be hit by a strike by some 300 electrical workers in Canada if there's no deal by Sunday. CP says it has a contingency plan in place to maintain rail operations and customer service if a work stoppage occurs, while negotiations with the union continue into the weekend. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Every year, CAA Manitoba puts out a Worst Roads in Manitoba campaign, asking Manitoba drivers which are the worst roads they're driving on, and the results are now in. In the campaign's 15-year history, government has responded to the results from the campaign and made improvements to streets, highways, and roads that are in need of repair. Joining us now is Evald Friesen from CAA Manitoba. Good morning, Evald.
Thanks for having me again.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. 15 years you've been doing this. 15
years, yes, absolutely. And this year was no exception. We saw a lot of enthusiasm again for our campaign.
Thousands of people responded.
Thousands of people responded. We had 711 different roads nominated from 69 different municipalities.
Wow.
So it's a pretty good spread from all over the province.
So a lot of rural and a lot of city as well.
That's correct. Last year we had a sort of heavy rural representation on our list. This year that kind of balanced out.
Okay.
Equal parts rural, equal part urban. We also saw a bunch of new roads appear this year, which we'd never seen before.
Okay.
So that shows that people are listening and paying attention.
So when they're voting for the worst roads, what are they basing their opinions on? Is it potholes? What is it exactly?
So there's a number of criteria that we could use. Everything from potholes, obviously, uneven road surfaces, poor road maintenance, which are the three most common in rural parts of the province. As we move to urban parts of the province, primarily Winnipeg and Brandon, it shifts a little. So there we see faded road markings, poor pedestrian and cycling infrastructure, crumbling curbs. Those are the bigger ones.
And people are passionate about this in Manitoba. I mean, anywhere really, but especially here, because it is so expensive to drive right now, and they want the roads to be not damaging their vehicles.
Absolutely. So we do surveys quite regularly. So we ask about roads. We ask about people's opinions about roads, and 92% of Manitobans say that they are concerned with the state of the roads. 82% of our survey respondents said that they're not being repaired in a timely way.
Okay.
And almost half of us think that the situation is getting worse.
Okay, so let's get to it. What is the worst road in Manitoba?
The worst road in Manitoba is Highway 34. Interesting, this year 34 was our #1 worst road last year, and it's the 7th time it's made an appearance on our list.
And where is that road?
So it's west of Winnipeg, between Gladstone and the U.S. border, sort of between Winnipeg and Brandon.
Okay.
North-south.
And what don't they like about it?
So these some of the more common things we see: potholes being #1, uneven road surfaces, and of course poor road maintenance.
Oh boy. Okay. Number 2.
Number 2 is Highway 307 in the Whiteshell. This will also come as no surprise. It's been what we sometimes call a usual suspect on our worst roads list as well, having appeared on our list 7 times as well, and taking the #1 spot in years prior.
Okay, and so number 3 is the Winnipeg Street.
The number 3 is our Winnipeg Street, Kenniston Boulevard, Route 90. In our office, we thought, okay, well, it's about time. We know that a lot of folks depend upon Kenniston. We know that there's a broader conversation being had about the future of Kenniston. As we wait for those decisions to be made, the road isn't getting any better, particularly intersections where it intersects with Taylor, Grant, and Corridon. Those were identified as troublesome spots.
Okay, we're almost out of time already, but when people complain about these roads, something gets done typically, right?
Absolutely. Most of us tend to complain to our colleagues or our spouse or even our mechanic. When you shared these thoughts with us at CAA, we use it in our advocacy, and governments responded. A few years ago, 18th Street, which was our #1 worst road, the province responded immediately with a funding commitment, shovels in the ground, and I'm happy to report that 18th Street is now a very good road to drive on.
And no longer on the list.
And no longer on the list, yes.
Thanks, Ewald. And if you want more information or if you want to vote next year, there's a link on our website as well. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
All right, just a little bit of a breeze has increased out here, only making it somewhat more pleasant because these temperatures will be on the rise and we'll be glad to have some air moving around a little bit. 19 degrees is where we're currently sitting with a 26K wind out of the south-southeast, the pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 52%. And it is beautiful out here. I'll say it again, the morning hours will easily be the most pleasant of what Mother Nature is offering up today. And once we're starting to get into those afternoon hours, probably not even recommended that you spend long periods of time outdoors. I mean, listen, you can run your errands and that sort of thing, but extreme activities in the outdoor hours once we're into those hot temperatures, not ideal. And there is, of course, the importance of staying hydrated, slathering up with the sunscreen, and just being on the lookout for others too. Your pets, make sure that they've got some fresh cold water as well, and just the more vulnerable you want to be keeping an eye on. If you are experiencing signs of heat stroke or heat exhaustion, they could exhibit in nausea, symptoms of dizziness. These are signs that you need to get yourself to a cool place. So please heed all of the warnings, but by all means enjoy what you can, especially, like I said, these morning hours are certainly very pleasant. And Gator is having a good old time. Find a body of water to enjoy, perhaps, as Gator is doing here at this diving competition, or as he's prepping for it. Thanks to Pat for sharing the photo, and keep the pictures coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
A new clinic at Hamilton Health Sciences promises to be a one-stop shop for patients with mechanical heart valves. CTV's Pauline Chan tells us it's the first of its kind in Canada.
So I was born with a defect in my heart. It's called a bicuspid aortic valve.
3 years ago, Amanda Foster got a mechanical heart valve and was put on warfarin, a common blood thinner.
It was a concern to me to take it because you think of it as like a poison, but it is actually helping me.
But warfarin can be tricky for patients to manage.
So this puts them at risk of blood clots on their heart valve, possible stroke, or bleeding complications, including severe bleeding, like bleeding into the stomach or the brain.
Too much leads to bleeding, too little can cause clots, leading to a stroke like Amanda had last December. So she was recommended for the new mechanical heart valve clinic at Hamilton Health.
They're seeing myself as a specialist thrombosis or blood thinner pharmacist and my physician colleague who focus on their blood thinner management. And they also see a cardiologist that focuses on other valve-related issues and their cardiovascular health.
They can also bring in a neurologist if the patient has a history of stroke and a surgeon if additional surgeries might be needed.
I have gotten so much help from their thrombosis team. They really do help you navigate through everything, and you can contact them at any time.
Amanda says she especially appreciates having all the specialists under one roof, and it's also a place where patients can get access to and participate in leading-edge research. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
And above the clouds, a reunion between a teacher and student. CTV's Mike Walker has the story of a pilot and the teacher who inspired him to reach new heights.
Current weather in Toronto is bleak winds out of the south.
What started out as a routine announcement from WestJet pilot Michael Sartor on a flight from Winnipeg to Toronto
Often a teacher that inspired and motivated. For me, that was Mr. Bello.
turned into a surprise shout out to a passenger and his former teacher.
I just burst into tears, and then people started cheering, which I thought was so beautiful.
Daphne McMinamy taught Sartor grades 3 and 4 in Brampton 18 years ago, a teacher he credits not only for his success in school, but also his career as a pilot.
I was never the best student as a younger boy, and she was kind of the first teacher who really inspired me. She motivated me. She was the one to say, yes, you can do this. You could accomplish really anything you want to do, and that stuck with me.
A dream he shared with his teacher when he was only 8 years old.
He was in the Air Cadets, I remember, and he talked about being a pilot from the jump. And today, there's his plane.
This was a special flight that came by chance. The two kept in touch through Sartor's parents throughout his school career and as he embarked on his dream job. McMinamy, who flies frequently for her teaching job, had always hoped to see her former student in his element.
Every time I would fly anywhere, I would send him a message to say, hey, I'm at the airport, never expecting to actually be on a flight with him.
Finally, it just ended up working where I was able to bid for a flight that she was able to book.
A proud moment.
I still see Michael as the 8-year-old that I taught, and so to see him in that space was just such a beautiful thing that he kind of made this dream that he had come true.
Without her as my teacher, I don't think I would have been able to accomplish what I have.
On a special flight, both say they will always cherish. Mike Walker, CTV News.
Wake up and win with CTV Your Morning and Manitoba Blue Cross. We could pay your bills with a massive $20,000. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. Today's code word is Thrive. Head to the contest page at ctvwinnipeg.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter Thrive with your info for your chance to win the Your Morning $20,000 Pay Your Bill contest, brought to you by Manitoba Blue Cross, your local trusted health benefits provider. Tune in tomorrow for another code word. Good luck.
19 degrees already this morning. Plenty of sunshine. Not a cloud that we can spot out there, but just a little bit of a breeze. Out of the south-southeast, that wind is 26 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising. The humidity sitting at 52%. It's not a strong wind, just like I said, a nice breeze, enough to kind of keep that air moving, which will be key because otherwise it can get pretty stagnant. And in fact, it's going to be a scorcher today with heat warnings that have been issued through all of southern Manitoba along this western border and right up into the northwest. Northeastern Manitoba won't experience quite the same kind of heat, but still very much above what you would expect this time of year. Here in Winnipeg, the temperatures will be pretty extreme. 35 degrees on tap for us today with a bit of a breeze. 30K winds out of the south, so like I said, enough to kind of keep that air moving, but 35 is intensely hot, and those heat warnings need to be heeded because once we're getting into these kind of temperatures and not cooling down overnight, you can see we're only dropping down to about 21 degrees, so this isn't the kind of weather where you can crack that window overnight and allow your space to cool down. So a cool shower or a cool bath, find a place with some air conditioning, whether it be a public space, a library. We talked about grocery stores yesterday. The dairy department is always pretty chilly. 35 expected again tomorrow with those south winds still at about 30 kilometers per hour. Low 30s expected through the weekend. Now, heavier clouds on Saturday, so it might not seem quite as hot, but that sunshine is back again. Next week, those temperatures dipping, but only slightly. 22 degrees is normal, so we're still staying well above that.
We have an update on that shooting in northern Manitoba Tuesday in which 2 people who were riding an ATV had to be airlifted to hospital in Winnipeg. It happened shortly after midnight in Matthias Cologne Cree Nation, also known as Puckatawagan. RCMP now say a 15-year-old boy was arrested at a home in the community Tuesday evening. He remains in custody and is facing several charges, including aggravated assault and discharging a firearm with intent. The shooting injured a 21-year-old man and a 17-year-old boy. A northern Manitoba town already struggling for years is now facing another breaking point. Residents in Leaf Rapids say empty grocery shelves, wildfire destruction, and deteriorating services are making daily life unbearable, and some are now being offered the option to relocate.
You want help, there's no help. You basically help yourself or drown, sink or swim.
Sylvia Smith reads a letter she received from the province giving her the option to leave her home in Leaf Rapids. The province says this is not a forced relocation of Leaf Rapids residents, but rather an opportunity to move somewhere with better access to essential services. However, Smith says she doesn't want to relocate, instead arguing that those essential services should be restored to the town. Smith is not alone in coping with an increasingly untenable existence in the town. It's a harsh reality the over 200 people who call Leaf Rapids home face.
It was a booming town. Like, there was so much going on here. Like, and you look at it now, it's like a fragment of what it was.
The town has been rocked over the past few decades by a mine closure, businesses leaving, severe reductions in healthcare, and last year's devastating wildfires. Still, residents who are still here are hoping not to have to relocate and that their community can somehow be reborn. On January 1st of last year, new rules came into effect to crack down on predatory lending practices, including payday loans. But for those already signed up with high-interest loans, the rules don't apply. And some say they're still struggling to get out of debt. CTV's Pat Foran reports.
Terry O'Halloran of Barrie runs a small engine repair business. He had health problems 5 years ago and lost his leg. He needed to get a wheelchair and make modifications to his home. He took out a $4,500 loan and was paying $200 per month. He never missed a payment and thought it would be paid off soon.
That's why I called them, trying to get a hold of them to see what the final amount is left on the loan. Like, I figure, you know, I was figuring maybe a couple of $100. That was going to be it after 5 years.
What O'Halloran thought was a loan was actually a line of credit, first with cash money and later taken over by Lend Direct. He did refinance once, but was shocked to find out 3/4 of his payment was going to interest. He still owes almost $3,700.
At $4,500, if you do the math, it comes out to pretty near $10,000 for a $4,500 loan.
The criminal rate of interest that could be charged before January 1st, 2025 was almost 48%. Now it's capped at 35% interest, but for some who had existing loans before the changes were made, they're still paying the higher amount.
I know I can't continue to pay this thing. The interest is going to keep going on there.
CTV News reached out to Lend Direct but did not get a response. The Credit Counseling Society says taking out payday or high-interest loans or lines of credit can create a spiral of debt.
The fact is, the interest rate is so high, they're very, very difficult to pay off once you fall into them.
O'Halloran says he still has to purchase medical supplies and has other bills to pay. He regrets borrowing the money.
I could probably pay it back in a matter of another 5 years. And that's going to put me 71 years old. I figured by now this thing would have been taken care of.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Here's a look at traffic now along the St. James Bridge. It looks like things are moving well here. We have no issues to tell you about. Let's look now at your gas prices. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.68. It's lower than it was yesterday. And the lowest price in the city is $1.50. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your car today.
Time now for your answers to our Q of the day. We want to know, how do you like your burger? Susan says, I don't like mustard or onions, otherwise load it up. For Craig, barbecue burger, fully loaded. Jennifer likes her Beyond Meat burger with mustard, lettuce, pickled onion, and a cold root beer. Marlene likes cheese, mustard, ketchup, and tomato. Val shared, my go-to burger is slightly pink in the center, mayo, raw onion, pickles on the bottom, and lettuce, tomato, mayo on the top. Unc D likes all the fixings on his homemade burgers. They make it taste so good. Chris says, I like my burgers homemade, cooked to medium with spicy mayo, ketchup, mustard, bacon, cheese, and sauteed mushrooms and onions. Felicity likes 2 patties, cheese and ketchup, and Phoebe likes only cheese and lettuce. A viewer shared homemade burgers prepared by my wife, medium well on the barbecue, relish, mustard, ketchup, and a slice of sour pickle. And Teresa texted, I love my burger barbecues with fried onions, mustard, and relish. Smashed burgers are incredible. No tomatoes for me, please. Thank you so much for your responses.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic. Science-backed body contouring.
Let's go back now one last time to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at the Movement Center of Manitoba. Hi, Ainsley.
Hi, good morning. No, you don't have to, but I did want to ask you, Jaden, what do you like on your burger?
Tomatoes, a patty, and cheese and lettuce, and that's it.
That's a really great combo. Thank you so much for answering. We're, of course, at the Movement Center. This is our star of the morning. Carly, tell us a little bit about the pierogi run that's coming up this June.
Yeah, so June 14th at Kildonan Park, we have our pierogi run, and it's a 2-kilometer loop. It's a walk, wheel, run event, and yeah, it's a good community event, and it's one of our biggest fundraisers for the Movement Center. So really looking forward to it. There'll be pierogies, of course. Boston Pizza has pizza there for everyone, and yeah, lots of games, lots of fun things going on, and should be a fun day.
You guys are, well, and people can look forward to a plate of pierogies or some Boston pizza. A pierogi pizza would be right about nice right now. Don't you think so, Jaden?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what would you say? Oh my goodness, look, it's Lionel from Boston Pizza. But what would you say goes on a pierogi pizza?
No way. Sour cream.
What's this here?
Sour cream.
Yeah, and you gotta, as any good Manitoban knows, that you gotta put those pierogies with a lot of sour cream, just the way that you like it.
Put them in another big dollop. I love sour cream.
So you guys aren't funded by government, and what is the goal when it comes to programming and gaining revenue for this?
Yeah, we have a couple of fundraisers throughout the year, but Pierogi Run is definitely one of our biggest. Our goal is $150,000 to raise from a Pierogi Run. It costs us about $1 million per year, and so our fundraising and events and our sponsorships and all that plays into it. So yeah, Pierogi Run being one of our biggest ones, we obviously have done it for many years, so we're really looking forward to another big year and hopefully hitting our goal.
Awesome. And all the important things. Go Blue Jays, right?
Yeah.
Well, you gotta say it. Anything else?
No.
Nope. Okay, that's enough. He's done being a celebrity for the morning. Thank you so much. Register now.
Thank you, Ainsley, and thank you, Jaden. What a rock star. All right, let's go to the rooftop now. It's sunny and it's going to be hot today.
Yeah, this morning, these are the best temperatures that we're going to experience today. We're almost getting to that 20-degree range, very close, sitting at 19 right now. And where we're headed today might be a little too hot for some. For most, probably. That'll be when I'm taking my nap this afternoon in a nice, cool, air-conditioned space. I couldn't recommend that enough if you have the opportunity. South-southeast winds, a little bit of a breeze at 26 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 52%. Sunglasses, a requirement today. Sunscreen, absolutely essential. Staying hydrated, probably the most important element. And then, of course, just being smart about the time that you're spending outdoors, finding spots in the shade or an air-conditioned space once we're reaching those extremes. We are under heat warnings, and it's not something to take lightly. I mean, doesn't mean you can't get outside and enjoy parts of the day. Like I said, especially these morning hours. This is the time to get out and walk the dog, because even your dog would rather be napping when we're reaching those mid-30 temps this afternoon. And it's not just today. We're going to do it again tomorrow. The extreme heat will last even into the weekend. We're still looking at a stretch of days into those low 30s. And on the other side of that, not a whole lot of relief. We're still going to be well above seasonal, and 22 degrees is normal for this time of year. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
Good morning, it's 8:45. As the Montreal Canadiens fight for a spot in the Stanley Cup Finals, Habs colors have once again taken over the city. Fans are buying up collectibles and merchandise and pucks. But few know that NHL teams have long entrusted a Quebec company to produce game pucks. CTV News' Geneviève Beauchemin reports.
It's game on for NHL playoff puck production. A sport of its own, really. Thousands of logo-printed pucks have to quickly roll off the line here in Glasgow with each new playoff round. All the team's pucks are decorated here, but the hottest items, those adorned with the cherished C, says CEO Anita Chanda.
We're sending just to the Canadians about 3,000 for each game. But don't forget, there's retailers all across the country right now that want a piece of this.
There's warm-up and souvenir pucks, but in Glasgow also makes official game pucks.
They're similar to the other ones, except here is where you have the sensors.
Made in Canada, logo printed in these old army barracks in Quebec's eastern townships for all 32 NHL teams, but also the PWHL. These are champions pucks for the victorious Montreal Victoire.
Fans are buying merchandise, so we have a lot of products going out this week.
Local production, she says, helps in Glasgow react quickly when teams win or lose. The company has also scored deals for a wide range of logo-printed merchandise for several other leagues and has a busy summer ahead with FIFA and the Blue Jays' 50th anniversary. The company, too, is half a century old.
It's basically like the unknown secret of Quebec.
It was started by Jason Drellet's grandfather and started out making hockey sticks.
My grandfather founded Sherwood also as the first company, which we are in the building, Sherwood building.
It's history woven into the fabric of Canada's game. And while it says it treasures its relationships with all teams, well, there's a special connection to the Habs.
I have heard that there's a few kisses and good wishes going with every puck that's going into the Bell Centre.
And soon the company will be fabricating the champions pucks with whatever logo may be on them. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Sherbrooke, Quebec.
Thousands of people in Manitoba live with Parkinson's disease, which is a neurodegenerative disorder that affects the body's ability to control movement. And research shows exercise can slow down the disease's progression. The Winnipeg winner of the first season of The Amazing Race Canada, Tim Hague Sr., was diagnosed in 2011 with young onset Parkinson's disease. In 2016, Hague launched the U-Turn Parkinson's program, which offers free exercise classes for people with Parkinson's. The annual walk to U-Turn's Parkinson's helps raise much needed funds for the program. And joining us now from U-Turn Parkinson's are Daouda Suleiman Daouda and Tim's daughter, Jordana Hague. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Let's talk about Parkinson's because it's still a mysterious disease. We still don't really know exactly. We don't have a cure for it. Is that right?
Yeah.
What do we know? What's the latest in research about the disease?
So Parkinson's is a progressive neurodegenerative disorder that primarily affects movement. The causes of Parkinson's are well, not very much well known because there are genetic factors as well as environmental factors.
Okay.
So there's if a member of your family, a parent or a sibling has Parkinson's, you are more likely to develop it. But that's just a predisposition. Environmental factors such as exposure to certain chemicals in the farms like pesticides, herbicides, detergents, solvents, Vietnam era exposure to Agent Orange, all have been proven to lead to development of the disease, which develops after the cells that produce a substance known as dopamine that is responsible for movement in the brain get affected. Once 50 to 80% of these cells die off, the person tends to develop the disease.
What we do know about the disease, and this is why, Jordana, your dad started U-Turn Parkinson's in the first place, is because we do know exercise helps to slow down the progression. How so?
Yeah, specifically high-intensity exercise. More and more research is coming out that really shows that high-intensity exercise, getting your heart rate up, that's really what's having the most positive impact on an individual's symptoms. We always tell people, you know, whatever exercise you do and will do regularly, that's what you should be doing. But we also want to get our heart rate up. That's what the research is showing.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about what U-turn Parkinson's is and how your dad wanted to really get this off the ground.
Yeah, so when he was diagnosed at 46, there wasn't a whole lot of programming or support for people living with Parkinson's. He was told that exercise is what you need to be doing. That's the best thing that you can be doing. But there was no community. There was no one doing Parkinson's specific exercise. So he said, well, I'll do that. I'll start a program. So now we offer boxing, we offer Tai Chi, we offer strength and conditioning, dance. There's really something for everyone so that each person can find a way to kind of get their heart rate up in a way that's enjoyable.
And it's really great because it's free.
Yeah,
okay.
Everything is free.
Which is amazing. And that's why this walk that's coming up this weekend is so important. You raised over 100,000 last year. Yeah. It's on Saturday. What do you want people to know about the walk?
Yeah, we want people to know that we encourage people to come out. This is one of our major fundraising events for the year. So we encourage people to go online on our website, uturnparkinsons.org, to register ahead of time, or if they cannot, then just show up.
They could just show up that day.
And we could get them registered and work.
And it supports the U-turn Parkinson's program, helping other people with exercise, and it's free. That's why it's so important.
Yes, exactly. Having walks like this is really why we're able to offer our programs for free. Being accessible is really important to us.
Well, thank you to both of you. And if you want more information on the walk itself, we have a link on our website. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Bye.
If you're headed out today for a bit of a stroll, go early. Stay hydrated, slather up with the sunscreen, wear a hat, get yourself to a nice cool place when you start to feel the extreme heat, and you will feel it later today. 19 degrees right now with south-southeast winds, 26 clicks, the pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 52% throughout a lot of the province today, the exception kind of being the northeast and maybe parts of east central Manitoba that aren't under the extreme heat warning. Much of northern Manitoba along the western border and all of southern Manitoba is under that warning. It's still going to be above seasonal in some of those other places, just not quite as intense as what we're going to experience, pushing up into the mid-30s for the next couple of days. Overnight lows into the low 20s, so not even those opportunities to cool down or open the window overnight and let some fresh air in, because this is going to stick around these high teen temperatures throughout the coming weekend. And the low 30 temperatures, I mean, we're in mid-30s for the next couple of days, but it still stays up in that 30-degree range right into the start of next week. Next week, slight improvement, only down to the low to high 20s. No, sorry, high 20s. Low 20s would be normal, around 22 degrees. We're taking a break. We'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Well, 'tis the season for graduations, and this son shows off just how proud he is to his mom.
Let's go! Let's go, Mom! Let's go! Let's go!
He's proud of his mom. He's cheering for his mom. Eddie's mom just graduated with a management degree from Harvard, and he wanted to make sure everyone in the room knew how excited he was of her achievement. Look at him go. That's so sweet.
I love that.
Now, this next little guy had a serious change of heart after a close encounter with a bug. The toddler was excited when he caught a grasshopper. Then the excitement instantly turned to terror when he realized he had made a terrible decision.
Have you seen them up close?
Yes. He was able to throw the bug back outside after much pleading from his mom. Oh, gosh. They're nasty little critters, aren't they?
Well, I mean, no, but I wouldn't, right?
Yes. Now, there's nothing like hot, fresh pizza. The only thing to make it better would be to have your favorite pizzeria super close by.
Hallo. Yes, jeg håper det smaker.
Look at that delivery service. Talk about working from home. This little pop-up in Oslo is all the rage. The team makes pizzas in their apartment and then lowers them down to paying patrons. Looks delicious and so easy.
Yes, please.
That does it for us. Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow.